Nothing can bring us down. We will rise through the night. We will rise. We will rise for our lives. We will rise. Nothing can bring us down. Nothing can bring us down. We will rise through the night. We will rise. We will rise for our lives. We will rise. Nothing can bring us down. I can't keep on waiting. Don't you keep me waiting for you. I can't keep on waiting. Don't you keep me waiting. gets hard. Don't be afraid, don't be afraid. When your dreams seem far, don't run away, don't run away, don't run away. Do whatever it takes, whatever it takes. Do whatever it takes, whatever it takes. Do whatever it takes, whatever it takes.
mistaken, you and I will be making history. We are legendary. We are legendary. We are. Oh, oh, we are legendary. You and I will be making history. We are legendary. We are legendary. We are.
Nothing can bring us down. We will rise through the night. We will rise. We will rise for our lives. We will rise. Nothing can bring us down, Nothing can bring us down, We will rise through the night. We will rise. We will rise for our lives. We will rise. Nothing can bring us down. I can't keep on waiting. Don't you keep me waiting. Don't be afraid, don't be afraid. When your dreams seem far, don't run away, don't run away, don't run away. Do whatever it takes, whatever it takes. 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 When your dreams seem far, don't hide away, don't hide away, don't hide away. Do whatever it takes, whatever it takes. Do whatever it takes, whatever it takes. Do whatever it takes, whatever it takes.
We'll make it out alive. We'll make it out alive. You and I will make it out alive. We'll mistaken, you and I will be making history. We are legendary. We are legendary. We are. Oh, oh, oh. We are legendary. You and I will be making history. We are legendary. We are
Nothing can bring us down. We will rise through the night. We will rise. We will rise for our lives. We will rise. Nothing can bring us down, down. Nothing can bring us down, down, down. We will rise through the night. We will rise. We will rise for our lives. We will rise. Nothing can bring us down, down. I can't keep on waiting, waiting. Don't you keep me waiting, waiting. Oh, when life gets hard, don't be afraid, don't be afraid. When your dreams seem far, don't run away, don't run away, don't run away. Do whatever it takes, whatever it takes. Do whatever it takes, whatever it takes. Do whatever it takes, whatever it takes. When your dreams seem far, don't hide away, don't hide away, don't hide away. Do whatever it takes, whatever it takes. Do whatever it takes, whatever it takes. Do whatever it takes, whatever it takes.
We'll make it out alive. We'll make it out alive. You and I will make it out alive. We'll make it out alive. mistaken.
Finally feel excitement. Feel
Start talking.
Okay.
We are live.
Oh, start talking now. Okay, sure, sorry. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2019 ROX World Champion Cup. Where are we now?
We are in Seoul, Korea at the OGN Stadium, waiting for 6 teams to battle it out. We'll find out which 3 will have a promising start in the King Champion Cup, otherwise known as the KCC.
Which 3? What do you mean by which?
Which ones win?
Oh, okay, today's match.
Today's match.
Okay, so there will be in total 12 teams in our group stage, and after the slaughter, after the battle, after 2 weeks,
The
only
slaughter.
8 of them will make it to the Kuala Lumpur, to the next stage. So I will say every match, every single credit is not gonna lose. They will not gonna afford the loss of 1 credit even though.
No.
Okay. Are we all talking like this?
Yeah.
Continue?
I think we're just entering the show apparently.
We're even screaming right now? No.
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
I don't know.
We started at 1-8. 1-8.
Oh.
It's
Well.
just practice.
Good practice then, I guess. You know what? I can tell you. Secretly.
Sorry, is it streaming right now? Directors, can you hear me?
Audio.
Is it streaming right now? Okay, it's streaming right now. Sorry, I'm so sorry. Okay, let's jump back into the game. So let's introduce our rules again. Okay, so there'll be 12 teams in the group stage, and only 8 of them will make it to Kuala Lumpur and enter the next level.
Yeah. So that means 4 teams will ultimately be eliminated. Today's matches will be comprised from 2 regions. It's the first time that we're having a World Cup for Honor of Kings. So the first time that they're going to go head-to-head. We have the King Pro League and the International Region, 3 teams from each. The first match will be a KPL team versus an International Region team.
Yeah, very
so that's
nice.
very exciting.
Yeah, very nice introduction of the first match. RNG.M versus ROX Phoenix. I would say this is a competition between regions because they
Yes.
represent different divisions. KPL versus KPL. That's really interesting. And let's do some numbers in both teams.
Sure.
RNG.M won the 2nd place in 2019 KPL spring season. There is
A minute left.
2 minutes left. That's
Oh.
always rehearsal. That's rehearsal.
Oh, okay, okay.
And that's okay. The hype is okay.
2 minutes left. ROX? You're talking about ROX?
No, RNG.M.
Okay. I get to talk about ROX. Perfect.
Okay.
ROX is actually an extremely interesting team, right? A very, very hardworking team that really didn't have anything, right? They worked really hard to get to where they were in the international region and ultimately make it into this World Cup. So sort of this Cinderella, David and Goliath story, the
Yeah.
underdog story of the league, and now they're going to be facing one of the biggest of the big boys, right? RNG.M, number 2 in the KPL spring season for
Yeah.
2019. So this is going to be a very, very intense matchup for ROX Phoenix.
And for ROX, I mean, honestly, we could say that ROX represent one of the most dominant teams from the KPL
Yes.
division because they
Fair.
won the 2nd place in 2018 KPL autumn season, and they get into the 2019 KPL spring season playoff with only 4 losses and in 18 victories.
Yeah,
So
and
that's a
honestly,
big hat.
not only that, like, RNG.M is just known for not only being aggressive, especially in the early game, right? They take a
Yeah.
lot of early game aggression, but precise. They don't make a lot of mistakes. They make
30-second left.
relatively no mistakes. And we've seen that, like, in the precision, you can just see that even highlighting one player. Like, if we just highlight Jiancheng, right? He has the highest farm of any player in the entire KPL league, right? So, like, imagine the precision you have to have on rotations, on ganks, on camps, on timers to be able to be the highest farm player in the entire league. Absolutely insane.
I think we're waiting for the countdown. Let me move my chair there.
KRKPL에 새롭게 등장한 다크호스 무서운 성장세 팀 VSD.
지금까지는 CJ KCC 지역 선발전 진출의 킹존 드래곤 X입니다.
2018 KRKPL 초대 챔피언 대한민국 최강 킹존 드래곤 X.
王者荣誉是最高荣誉的获得者，世界冠军杯 PUG Happy 他们来了。
2018 KCC 선봉 우승, 윈터 준우승, 글로벌 무대의 강자 퀀텀 게이밍.
恭喜RW他们将第一场战跑，出来自我们铁六赛区荣耀，最终韩国首尔。
2019년 비약적인 발전을 하고 있는 로그 워리어스 e스포츠 클럽.
恭喜李立杰！一帆风顺，事事未来，希望世冠只是他们的起点。
험난한 KCC 진출전을 뚫어낸 정규 시즌 12팀의 기적 에드워드 게이밍 모바일 e스포츠. 이렇게 뼈아픈 한 방이 나오고 맙니다. 탄탄한 전력과 두뇌 플레이, 멈추지 않는 불사조의 비상 ROX 피닉스.
EMC가 킹존 드래곤 X를 잡아내면서 1패를 안겨주며 결승문에 진출합니다.
2019 KRKPL 스프링 준우승 마카오의 폭주기관차 e스포츠 쪽 마카오 차이나.
恭喜RNG.M，同时他们也拿到了冠军杯正赛的名额。首尔见。
2019 KPL 스프링 준우승 KCC 정상을 노린다 RNG.M 모바일.
COG 정규 시즌 8위로 가면서 정말 아무랬었잖아요.
자유롭고 전략적인 올라운더 팀 모두 예상을 뒤엎는 고스타울 게임.
战的三冠王，世界冠军杯，欢迎你们！
2018 KCC 윈터 우승팀 2연속 KCC 우승도전 히어로즈 유진 e스포츠 클럽. 다시 한번 큰 박수 부탁드립니다. 2019 스프링 시즌의 우승 노바. 압도적인 피지컬과 공격력 2019 KRKPL 스프링 챔피언 노바 e스포츠. KPL 6번의 도전 끝에 2019 KPL 스프링 챔피언 전통의 강호 1사. 왕장유 글로벌 챔피언의 탄생의 현장 2019 왕장유 월터 챔피언컵. 지금부터 가장 빛나는 12팀과 함께 그 화려한 승부를 시작하겠습니다.
In the old ways, before the dark days came to change our life. Man and mind,
우리는 쉬는 기간 동안 저번과 달라진 모습을 보여주기 위해 준비를 많이 했다. 우리 킹조는 한국에서 가장 강한 팀이다. 그렇기 때문에 한국에서 열리는 세계대회인 만큼 KRKPL 홈그라운드의 이점을 살려서 본선에 진출하겠다.
한국에서 열리는 KCC 대회에 참가할 수 있어 매우 영광스럽다. 홈 어드밴티지가 있어 우리는 절대 탈락하지 않을 것이다.
英雄不会沉寂太久，世冠就是我们崛起的时候。无论对手是谁，我手中的剑都会将你们一一斩落马下。
我们已经来到了首尔，就还想去吉隆坡，去深圳。我们会让世界知道什么是最强的野虎三子星。
sent a signal to
The game has never been a one-man battle. I want to tell you, this is a game for 5 people and anything can happen.
to where we live for the dreams and all that they mean.
죽음의 조 A조에서 그 어느 하나 쉬운 상대는 없다. 하지만 우리는 칼을 갈았고 그 어떤 상대도 두렵지 않다.
I've been working for a reason.
第一次站上世界的舞台，我们会展现来自中国的侠客气势。各路王者，请指教。
这次世冠小组赛，先给自己定个小目标，全胜战绩前往吉隆坡。我要延续 QGIP 夏天的传统。
Sent a signal.
KRKPL 春季賽嘅我哋，雖然只係冠軍隊伍嘅陪襯，但係我哋卻認證咗黑馬嘅潛質。一穿三嘅奇蹟仍然繼續，黑馬嘅故事仲未完結。
这次世冠，我们不会再给对手任何机会，失去的我们要亲手拿回来。
Kami telah membuktikan bahwa Noah adalah pasukan paling berkuasa di KRKPL. Sekarang sudah tiba masanya untuk melancarkan kesan ke atas dunia pertama.
现在谈论世界第一还为时尚早。 因为 KPL 这座大山不是想翻就能翻得了的，在这里我还要一直赢。
네, 왕장유 글로벌 챔피언의 탄생의 현장 2019 왕장유 월드 챔피언컵 드디어 오늘 이 화려한 개막식과 함께 한 달간의 대장정이 시작되겠습니다. 큰 카이싱 젠 다운이먼. 네. 자, 세계 챔피언이라는 타이틀과 더불어 어마어마한 상금이 걸려있는 2019 KCC. 이제 그 개막전 무대에서 뜨거운 무대를 펼치게 됩니다. 개막전에 나서는 그 두 팀의 영광의 얼굴을 지금 소개합니다.
이동하시면 되겠습니다. 아, 네.
(2019) 스프링 준우승 KPL 최고의 운영력을 보유한 베테랑 팀이죠. RNG 모바일. 사이드라이너 리앵첸, 정글러 첸천, 미드라이너 스톰, 사이드 유유, 서포터 제로. 이에 맞서는 팀이죠. 전략과 운영으로 상대를 압도한다. KRKPL의 불사조 ROX 피닉스. 사이드라이너 살렘, 정글러 도, 미드라이너 크로우, 사이드라이너 핫썸, 서포터 페이. (2019) KCC의 첫 문을 여는 개막전이자 KPL팀과 KRKPL팀의 첫 만남이 될 이번 대결. 과연 누가 승자가 되어 웃을 수 있을까요? RNG 모바일과 락스 피닉스의 경기 지금 시작합니다.
Okay, we're just seeing the showing up for both teams. Both of them looks confident to me.
Yeah, both teams are here and they have something to prove, right? ROX sort of has nothing to lose. They are like the wild card, the underdog. Like they want to show like we are the international region, we are KRKPL, and we are just as strong as KPL. Like anything they can take from RNG.M is going to be absolutely amazing. And the cool thing about ROX is they're known for pulling off these crazy compositions, running things like Athena, who is a hero that doesn't actually die, right? When she dies, she just provides vision on the map and comes right back to life. That's something that's not played in the pro scene. So they are the wild card. It's really going to come down to, can they pull off these tricks, throw RNG.M off their game, or are they going to succumb to RNG.M's devastating, solid gameplay?
Yeah, the strategy Bag was referring to is called sacrificing strategy, because
Yes.
Athena is that kind of character that will provide you constant vision even if she is dead. So that's the thing that ROX Phoenix really impressed me, because they have a lot of very creative compositions. They're born to create those things that most teams don't see. They're trying and they're making bold endeavors when it comes to say their game style of playing, but their opponents is RNG.M. RNG.M is definitely one representative of the most dominant KPL team ever. So
Powerhouse.
I would say both teams represent a very highest powerful teams, but we have to admit, we're honestly saying that there is certain distance between KPL teams and
Yes.
KRKPL teams.
Just because KRKPL is so much newer, right? They haven't had the time that KPL has had to really lock in those skills, hone them in. These matches are the first ever matches we're having from the KPL and the KRKPL, right? The international region and the regular region. First time ever that they're going to be competing, that they're going to be able to fill out each other's skill level and see what it takes to really get to that next level. So anything that ROX Phoenix can take from RNG.M today is going to be a huge victory for KRKPL. And honestly, that puts so much pressure on RNG.M, because RNG.M, their job is to come out and to show all the superiority, all the experience they have, leave it all on the line. Like you said, because they're a dominating team in KPL, if they let anything slip here, other KPL teams are going to be able to take that as a rally.
RNG is dealing with more
Exactly,
pressure. Because they cannot afford to losing even one victory, even one battle. But I would personally think that it will be a very valuable experience for ROX Phoenix.
Yes,
because I
of
always
course.
believe that a very great chameleon opponent really needs a very powerful enemy, so that you will have your lessons, you'll train your skills, you're becoming more powerful in the future. And RNG.M is so aggressive in the early game compared to most of the teams in KCC. They're a team who plays extremely aggressive, and once they earn themselves a little bit and goal lead, they will never let it go.
Yeah.
That's the scary thing about RNG.M.
RNG.M just snowballs and ends games, right? No mistakes. After they get that aggression, after they get the leads, they're not gonna back down. And I love that word you use for ROX, the chameleons, right?
Yeah.
They're known as the chameleons of KRPL because they just have so many different strategies that they can employ. And that's something that KPL most likely is not used to seeing, right? They see the same heroes, the same pools, the same bans every time. And this is going to be the first tournament where we have a slightly different meta coming out. We're going to have more focus on objectives like the Overlord and Tyrant, and a little bit maybe less focus on the waves and towers, or the waves because they'll be worth less. The towers are actually going to be worth more. So that's going to really switch things up, and it might allow a team like ROX Phoenix, who plays not standard, to shine.
Yeah, as you say, like KPL strong teams, they're known for certain rules,
Yes.
They have fixed formations. They have fixed formations that they think that will win the battle. So they put out some very traditional forms, composition that I think they have most confidence in. But for their opponent, ROX Phoenix, I'm really looking forward to see some early aggression by RNG.M, but I am also looking forward to see some creative moves, creative composition made by ROX Phoenix. And as we're talking about RNG.M, the thing for RNG.M is that even though they play really aggressively in the early game, but they seldom make any mistake. That's where they shine. I think we should cut out for the decision maker, the shot callers for RNG.M, which is the support Zero and the jungler Chen. Those two people, those combo will make exactly right decision at the right moment, and every time they try to invade, they will have the perfect time and perfect way to do it.
And I agree with you. Definitely be watching Chen, right? That guy is a monster. Monster in terms of farm, in terms of gameplay. If you're watching him, you'll understand where the fights are going to be before they even happen, because he's going to be there ahead of time.
There's a little very cute nickname for Chinese fans made for Chen. It's like he is a damaging machine.
Damage machine.
And a very rich man. How does this name come from? Is because Chen has the top 1 gold earned per minute in the whole league. 730 gold per minute. Let's imagine that.
Yeah, this man does not miss a camp, does not miss a monster, and does not miss a team fight, because he is a part of everything. He is everywhere. He's like the teleporter of the map, right? Like anytime you think you have vision locked down, he's in the other lane already starting the next play. And if you're watching him, you're definitely going to be where the center of attention is. You're going to be where the action is. Now, ROX, interestingly enough, has the only female coach in the entire, in all of it, in everything, right? And it's a little bit difficult because she doesn't speak the same language as her players. So every time the coach is trying to coach these players, they have to have a translator. And obviously that's going to provide some difficulties when you have to overcome, right? And for them to be at the world stage just means that they've done such a good job at overcoming these difficulties. I'm really excited to see how they handle being faced with RNG.M, with this huge difficulty. They've already proven they can overcome them. You know, what can they snag from this team?
Exactly.
Right?
What we are just seeing, this very cool and amazing lady is named Hu Niu, who's from province China, Wuhan province, and she was once a pro league player. And she had got a lot of experience, and hopefully he will get a lot of creative ideas for ROX Phoenix. And we're now diving in their first game and the first BP stage.
Yeah, so for those people that have never seen this before, this is what we call all-around ban phase, all-around BP, and that means anything that you draft in this game, you will not be able to play for the rest of the best of 5. So teams not only have to think about what they're going to take now, but potentially what they're going to take for Game 3, Game 4, Game 5, because they cannot reuse heroes. We're going to always see different compositions of heroes played today.
I think this news is a better news for ROX Phoenix because they're supposed to have a lot of systems in their bank. They're supposed to have a lot of compositions they have practiced. So let's see the first pick from RNG.M, Lu Bu, a very good flex pick because he can endure a lot of pressure on the side lanes and give extremely high damage in the late game.
Yeah, and this is honestly just a really standard KPL draft, right? You take the strongest warrior side lane that you think you can grab because he's going to be able to not only be useful, but be useful in so many different team comps that no matter what ROX is taking, RNG.M is already thinking, well, we have plenty of time to counter. This hero can be played with so many different comps that it doesn't matter how early we take him. Not only is he strong, but he's going to work in a bunch of different team compositions as well.
Speaking of comps, he is a great combo with Choro with a big chain CC, and on the other hand, let's see, they left ROX Phoenix, the Yukio, to go to the jungle, and the Marco Polo as a marksman. I would say this is the first priority choices for ROX Phoenix, and for RNG.M, they bring out Gong Sun Li, but actually I think this Gong Sun Li, they should be picked Gong Sun Li because if they do not pick this Gong Sun Li might be banned away in the second round.
Picking it now so they can already avoid Game 2 bans. I actually think that's a really smart move by RNG.M because that hero was just so powerful. They already know, okay, we're not really going to get it in the second round. Might as well take it now. Something else to know is if you've been watching any of the previous games, you know, we've sort of shifted, a lot of the teams have shifted away from using marksman. So we're already sort of seeing, you know, a little bit of the new meta that they've been practicing start to shine through. Both teams taking marksman this time. Maybe that is going to be the new wave for the entire series.
But you know, if you take a deep look at their compositions, Gong Sun Li is not afraid to be matching up with Marco Polo.
Oh,
so
no
for
way.
ROX, for the ROX, they have to avoid matching up for those Marco Polo to be with Gong Sun Li. But on the side of RNG.M, they definitely want Gong Sun Li to be a matching up partner with Marco Polo because they can build up these advantages very soon in the early game. And for the third pick from RNG.M, Sun Bin can either go to the support or the mid laner. That depends on their whole composition. But because of our ROX Phoenix has this Zhang Fei as a support, I really think that RNG.M will have a more aggressive type of support, and Sun Bin will go into the mid lane.
You know, I also want to go back to the Gong Sun Li and Marco Polo matchup because that's something that, you know, everyone watching now isn't going to know about. Gong Sun Li throws out umbrellas, and those umbrellas block all incoming projectiles. So Marco Polo's one is completely, his full first ability cannot do any damage when those umbrellas are activated. It's almost a direct counter to that hero. So she's going to be, like you said, very effective in dealing with the Marco Polo.
Exactly, so he will be the more dominant one in the matching ups. And ROX Phoenix is choosing Kayn as a side laner who is gonna be matching up with Lu Bu. Kayn will be a very good choice because Kayn have a regeneration in the even level 1. The
Yes.
first ability will allow him to be very safe behind the towers. And in the late game, wow, Kayn is like a monster. We've seen so many scenarios, so many cases, 1 versus 2 and kill both. Got a double kill by Kayn.
Yeah, and you know what? Having the Zhang as a support with him, I really like, because when the Zhang ult comes out, stuns a few, Kayn can land his chain stun
There's
on
a
top
combo
of them.
there.
Yes, and that combo is absolutely, like you said, in late game, devastating. You're going to be stunned for a total of at least 2 seconds. That's enough time for anyone to be bursted down.
Yeah, for the last 2 pick from RNG.M, RNG.M is trying to pick Sun Tzu as a jungler who will go into the jungle zones in the early and mid game and shift into the side lanes to create a lot of pressures for the side of our ROX Phoenix. And for the mid laner choice is Diao Chan. Wow. Diao Chan will be a very good combination with Sun Bing, because Sun Bing's ultimate will allow Diao Chan to have more cooldown and where she can dance more freely in the team fights. And I will say RNG.M, Diao Chan, the pick of Diao Chan is exactly who they are, how aggressive they are in the early and mid game.
Yeah, that ultimate, being able to provide you with not only visions but stun on the entire enemy teams is just so devastating, especially 2 teams that don't have a lot of mobility, right? Like, if they get locked down in that stun, their mobility is pretty much useless. You're going to get ganked, and it's going to be a bad time.
Look how mobile like the whole composition of RNG.M is. Diao Chan together with Sun Bing and as well as Sun Tzu. Sun Tzu has the ultimate. He can travel around the map like freely, you know, only with like 40 seconds of countdown. So RNG.M is this composition is have a very good mobility.
Yes.
But on the other hand, ROX Phoenix, I am looking at a lot of character, a lot of late game heroes such as Wang Zhaojun, such as Marco Polo. The only one character who will enable them to go through the early game is a Yukio. So the Yukio touch mana is really important.
Well, you know, I think this ban draft is totally indicative of their playstyles. So ROX, they like to manage their total economy and then go in for those late game fights. They took that comp. RGM likes to really be aggressive in the early game and then take that to snowball. They took that comp. So we're really seeing, like, not only are we seeing the battle of 2 regions, we're seeing their complete playstyles, like 100%. They are playing to their strengths.
The composition just reads their names, you know, because our ROX Phoenix excelled at protecting their own resources and keeping their enemies away from their resources, from their jungles. And we are seeing Zhang Fei, we are seeing Marco Polo, we are seeing Kai and Wang Zhaojun as well. Wang Zhaojun is more like assistant type of mage. He has a lot of control abilities, which will enable ROX Phoenix to be a better formation, to be better at protecting their own jungles. And let's see how many Purify that RNG.M has. So 3 Purify.
3 Purifies. That is a lot of CC they're going to be able to get away from.
Yeah. So this is a composition of mobility versus a composition of management. They're waiting for the time to reach after 15 minutes, and that's where ROX Phoenix composition will finally shine.
Exactly, because RNG.M, for the late game, they don't really have a clear engage, right?
Yeah.
They have to do chip damage. They have to go, like the Lubu can go in. The Lubu's ult, he can come in, you know, with that Falling God, but that's not ideal. He's normally a counter engage. You want to get some chip, then follow up, put him down. Having no clear, like, obviously ROX, they've got the Zhang Fei, they've got plenty of late engage heroes, where RNG.M does not. So RNG.M is looking to end the game early.
Yeah, Lu Bu is not a very strong initiation character, but the whole initiation relies very heavily on Sun Tzu, on this Liang Chen Sun Tzu. So the Sun Tzu's ultimate, the accuracy of this ultimate is really important, as if it determines whether Lu Bu can have a perfect time to dive in. So I would say Liang Chen will be a very key, major part of RNG.M's composition in the late game.
And that is what I'm going to be looking out for in the team fights for sure. Where is his positioning? Because if he's got really good positioning, really good engages, we're not even going to have to worry about a late game. He's not even going to get there. So that is what I'm going to be watching for this game. I think that if we see them execute their strategy, whatever team executes their strategy is going to be the team that comes out on top.
You know, there is a slight difficulties for RNG.M composition. Is that the support is Sun Bing. Sun Bing, you know, Sun Bing is a very good support because he gives you the cooldown, he gives you speed up, he gives you a lot of mobility, but the only thing Sun Bing lacks is a tankiness. Sun Bing is so vulnerable, so in the late and mid game, she cannot have the right position, he cannot open a lot of vision for his partner, for his members. So this will be a problem when the time reach to the late game.
which means RNG.M is definitely not going to want the time
yeah,
to go to the
want
late
to finish
game.
it within like 12 minutes or 15 minutes.
Yeah, and I would say that what I've seen from the patch notes, it kind of favors RNG.M, right? There's a lot of things in the patch notes that are set up to give your team bonuses for trying to end the game early, for grabbing the early objectives, for grabbing the early towers. You're getting more gold, more experience for your entire team, and they took a comp that could take advantage of that. Gong Seung Lee early farmed is going to be absolutely devastating, right? When she picks up those items, no one's going to be able to touch her. Marco Polo can't even get onto her with his abilities because they're going to be blocked by her umbrellas. So I don't know. I'm kind of leaning towards their comp as far as what they've taken, even though they don't have the late game engages. I think that they're relying on the fact that they're sure dominant. They're like, we're going to come out, we're going to be dominant, and we're just going to put the game away before 15.
You know, if I were asked to give a little bit suggestion to the side of our ROX Phoenix,
yes,
I would suggest them to, you know, after cleaning up the first wave in the mid lane, like at least 3 members of ROX Phoenix have to race back to their blue zone, and because when Diao Chen reach level 2, she will invade into your blue.
결과 발표할 때 스크립을 하고 있었는데 그 결과 추첨을 듣고서 멘탈이 너무 흔들려가지고 스크림에 집중을 못했어요 다들. 지금은 경기할 때 후회하고 싶지 않아가지고 최선을 다해 마음밖에 없어요.
네, 한국에서 하기 때문에 한국 선수들한테 더 좋은 어드밴티지가 있다고 생각해서 더 열심히 해서 이길 생각입니다.
일단 RNG 팀을 생각하면은 제가 생각하기도 너무 강한 팀이고, 그렇다고 또 저희 팀도 너무 위기 가지지 말고 평소 하던 대로 연습하던 대로 하면은 충분히 이길 수 있을 것 같아요.
그 RNG 정글 선수는 제가 생각하기에는 KPL에서 원딜을 제일 잘한다고 생각하기 때문에 그 선수를 보면서 되게 배울 점이 많은 것 같습니다.
저희가 처음부터 지금까지 왕자영역을 공부하면서 KPL 팀들의 영상을 많이 찾아봤기 때문에 어느 정도 모든 KPL 팀들을 알고 있어서 상대하는 방법은 조금씩 알고 있습니다.
원래는 사실 말레이시아 가는 게 목표였긴 한데 이번 조 편성된 걸 보고 KPL을 이기고 말레이시아 갈 정도면은 중국까지도 갈 수 있다고 생각합니다.
Members from ROX Phoenix, they're so hardworking, they're so dedicated to their work, and I believe that after several months of practice and several seasons in KPL, they're improving. Let's see.
And now we are finally heading over to the Valley of Kings, where we will see RNG.M and ROX Phoenix battle it out.
Woo! Oh, both teams are racing to the river to get the vision, and that's what I was expecting. Like Kyo is helping Marco Polo to get this red.
Yeah, they want to clear this mid lane as fast as possible. That's why you're seeing the support come in and help, so they can get a quick rotation. They don't want to get any early game gank skip, any early game advantages, especially to the side of ROX. If anyone goes down early, that's going to be absolutely devastating.
It's smart for ROX Phoenix because the Zhang Fei did not choose to go clean away together with Wang Zhaojun. He chose to go in here to near RNG.M's blue buff to get where RNG members are, because they are so afraid that RNG will do invasion in the early game.
And they definitely didn't want to have to deal with any of that vertical jungling, right?
Yeah.
They didn't want to have to go for the trade, so vision is super important in the early game. ROX took a little bit of chip early on. Looks like they're going for it now. On the bottom lane, we have Yuyu going in on Salem. He does get the swipe, but it's not enough damage to really do anything at this point.
Oh, I would say Salem is a little bit... This blood trading is a little bit unfair because he already used a healing pack behind the tower. This healing pack in this meta has changed a lot. It will give you a lot more HP than before. But to use it in this short time, what happens when the first Tyrant showed up?
Well, he's already getting pressured on the bottom lane, so they are going to have a better positioning in the next 15 seconds. Like you said, when we have the Tyrant spawning up, you're going to have better positioning by RNG.M.
They're surrounding
Whoa,
Tianchen.
they go in on Tianchen. They get some chip, but they decide they don't want the kill, and they're backing off. Even with 3, I think that ROX should have taken this fight.
But maybe the reason they didn't choose it because they have no clear position of the other 4 members, and the tower aggro, that's a little bit hurt. Even for Zhang Fei at
he
this
took
stage.
a little bit
you
too
know,
much hits
yeah.
from that tower, and there's nowhere that tower can chase you, so he just backed off in that fight.
But it's a good news for ROX because they do put some pressure towards the Gong Sun Li. Gong Sun Li is down to half HP right now.
Yeah, we're seeing Yu be able to rotate freely. He's just absolutely dominating Kai on the bottom lane. Kai needs to get this farm as quickly as he possibly can so that he can get into the late game. We need to see ults come on, right? We need to see Kai with barely hitting that level 4. We need to see him online faster.
Yeah, Diao Chen has already reached level 4 so that she has his ultimate, and both, all members of RNG.M are making rotations to this for Tyrants. They're making sure that they get them.
ROX did not have the vision to contest the Tyrant. They didn't even try. I like what they did instead. They looked for the trade, right? So you see Zhang Fei going into the jungle, looking to see if they can take anything from RNG.M for losing that Tyrant. We've got a double over here on Selim. They're clutching in. Hasumi coming in with the counter. He gets the stun. He's taking too much damage on the backline. Leonci with the boat.
The boat in!
The stun, and 2 will be sent low and have to go back to base.
You know, this is a very good news for RNG.M, even though they did not have the kill, but they managed to successfully got 2 members for ROX Phoenix go back to the base, so the time will be wasted. And look at the only news, good news for ROX Phoenix is that because Marco Polo did not attend this team fight, he managed to take down this tier 1 turret in the top lane.
Yeah, decent trade by ROX. They almost lost so much down there on the bottom lane, but being able to walk away without those deaths and the Marco Polo trade on the top lane literally is keeping them in the game right now.
But with Kane got very low and have to go back to the base, Gong Sun Li got outer 1 turret in the top lane as well. Oh,
we have 2 going in on
here.
Glow. The stun comes out. Glow's taking massive damage. RNG.M looking for a pick. They can't quite find it yet. We have a rotation by ROX. ROX coming in. Marco Polo with the 1. No engages going down at this time.
Diao Chen needs a blue right now. It's only half blue to this certain stage. And woohoo!
Faye goes for the vision. He tries for the steal. He's not able to snag it at this point. And ROX will have to back off.
Yeah, that's a smart move because, you know, they do know that the fact that you don't have the blue, Diao Chen will not engage in a team fight with them. And they have to force RNG.M to Sun Ce to use the smite so that the blue will not go to the Diao Chen.
Yeah, we're seeing such dominating pressure by RNG.M here. They're finally pushing into the jungle, taking advantage of this early game comp. They've got waves crashing on mid as well. This is looking really good for RNG.M right now.
Only nearly 5 minutes, RNG.M has already got 1,000 gold lead, and that's where they shine. That's where they're gonna start snowballing. The last case, we're seeing Diao Chen's blue getting taken away, but they managed to invade into their enemies and get this blue in an instant.
We're seeing some trades here on the mid lane. Faye's taking a little bit too much damage. He does have ult, but it would be a shame to waste it right now. We got a counter invade on the top lane while that was going down, and Yukio was not able to find anything as buff timer's not spawned yet.
Yeah. So I think ROX should, you know, they have to send one person who is responsible to count down the exact time for the buff to spawn, because RNG has just finished that blue buff. There is no way that there is something in that area.
Yeah, I think that was a little miscommunication like they're having right now. They've got a 3v1 on this Faye. The ult comes out, he's able to keep him alive. Glow grabs first blood on Storm in the King Championship Series, and RNG.M is looking to take anything they can, but at this point they cannot fight it.
Well, we're talking about how aggressively RNG.M is playing, but the first blood goes on to the side of ROX Phoenix and goes to the mage Wang Zhaojing. And we are saying Wang Zhaojing made his first item a Nightmare Feign, a item especially designed for Diao Chen, because Nightmare Feign's passive will reduce 50% of Diao Chen's regeneration. I'm seeing smart moves, smart decision by ROX Phoenix. I really think that ROX Phoenix is doing their best to stall the time into the late game.
Yeah, this is absolutely great by them. Look at this replay, right? We're having the engage, but it happens all on Faye. It happens all on the Zhang Fei. And he won't be able to put down this tank, especially when that ult comes out.
Look at the composition of Wang Zhaojing's ultimate and Zhang Fei's ultimate as well. Diao Chen is locked, is frozen at the original point and cannot move.
We have another engage coming down in here. Faye is taken low again. They want Zhang Fei dead. The Lubu's Godfall comes out. He does go down. He's not able to ult in time. Now Glow is taking devastatingly low. Glow will go down to Leon. And we've got no more damage from the side of RNG.M.
It's a 0-2 in favor of RNG.M. RNG.M managed to find a time where Zhang Fei does not have his ultimate, and he started team fights in a 5v5 scenario. I would say ROX Phoenix, if you don't have an ultimate for Zhang Fei, you cannot engage in the team fights. You cannot standing too far from your towers. You are given opportunity for RNG.M.
Yeah, way too much opportunity is given. We have mid-wave crashing on ROX, and Hasme is taking too low. He has to go back to base. This means RNG.M is free to go through this jungle and take whatever they can, preferably this top lane turret.
The top lane turret is just taken down by Tianzhen as well. 2 towers in 7 minutes and 30 seconds.
I will say, massive congrats to ROX. KRKPL taking the first blood of the Honor of Kings World Champion Cup.
In the first battle, in the first game, in the first day.
Yes, this is a huge, huge accomplishment for the side of ROX Phoenix.
And we think that RNG.M is still choosing to put Gongsun Li on the top lane, and we can see that Sun Tzu has already switched to the top lane, to the bottom lane. Yeah.
We have the Overlord spawning now. Do is trying to get some pressure on Yu. If they can push RNG.M out now, it's going to be an easy Overlord. And honestly, ROX kind of needs that right now. They need this lane pressure because they're down too many towers.
Look at the positioning of RNG.M 3 members here. Aim. They're determined to take down this auto turret in the melee.
They're looking for the engage. They can't quite find it. Everyone is chip damage. Faye is forced to pop his ult early, and that means they're not going to have it. They're not really going to be able to take this Overlord unless it's a steal.
They are losing the opportunity to fight the vision for this Overlord. Now, RNG.M can do whatever they like. They can choose to take this Overlord. They can choose to shred the HP of ROX Phoenix down and take this Overlord as well, and they can choose to constantly give them pressure on the side lane.
Ooh, Hasme gets caught a little bit too deep. He takes massive chip damage. Did not expect RNG.M to become swooping from that bush.
And Zhang Fei did not have this ultimate now.
Getting pushed back, getting pushed back. You know, I'm really surprised RNG.M hasn't even started this Overlord already. I would have really expected the Gongsung Lee to be on that so that they could have taken it for free, but they decided that they just don't even want it at this point.
I think ROX Phoenix they have to calm down. They have to slow down a little bit.
Slow the pace.
Yeah, very nice move by Kai, because this is a phase where you cannot take 5v5 frontline team fight with RNG.M because there's not enough damage. This complete period of time, like nearly 10 minutes, is Diao Chan's strongest period. You cannot take team fight with her, but you can choose to give pressure on the silings, just like what Kai is doing right now.
Ooh, Storm catches Faye in a bush. He doesn't have ult. He's taking way too much chip, and ROX Faye goes down.
And on the bottom lane, is it gonna be enough? No, the distance is too far away. Kai is able to retreat back.
Kai is able to escape onto the bottom lane, and RGM Storm is able to pick up some of those camps.
So the HP is really low from the side of ROX Phoenix. RNG.M can choose to start it on this Overlord at any time.
Nice, Jan Chung with the blue buff still means ROX is looting out on more. I will say, in the favor of ROX, they have made it to the 10-minute mark. A few more minutes, and their heroes are going to start to be much more effective. If they can hold on a few more minutes, they might be able to take these team fights in their favor.
Very smart move by RNG.M. They're choosing between the Dark Tyrant and the Overlord, and they think, right, I already have the wave advantages.
Yes.
This is where what I want to do. I want to engage in 5v5 team fights with you. I want to win this battle for team fights. I want to kill the person, I want to tear down your turrets.
See, the Tyrant and the Dark Tyrant in this game will give you damage, buffs, gold, XP, right? But the Overlord will only give you wave pressure and gold farms. So that's why they chose to go for it. Like you said, I think it was the right call, especially now that we know ROX abilities are going to come online. Do is taking so much damage here by RNG.M. He's forced to retreat back. Leon Chung finds the battle, and he puts him down. Faye has nowhere to run, and they are just cleaning up on the side of ROX Phoenix. We get a 3-for-2 trade in favor of RGM, but they want more. Yu going in on Salem. Hasme is looking for the stun. He finds it on 2. Does he have the ult? He doesn't have it on cooldown yet. They're forced to back off, and RGM still comes out on top.
The visibility of Kai really saved his life for this time. RNG.M is winning this fight, but I think that Chen is a little bit relaxing, you know. That position is just not worth it. Judging Yukio is right now.
He thinks he can find the pick, but he takes way too much damage. Yukio bites off more than he can stew. Kai is forced to back off as well, and that tower goes down as it has nowhere to run.
This Diao-Chen is just unstoppable at this point. She can be a warrior, she can be a tank, she can be a mage as well. He can absorb a lot of damages and put a lot of pressure onto ROX Phoenix frontliner as well.
Yeah, and like you were talking about, RNG.M, they finally took the lead they had, and they started snowballing. Within the last few minutes, they've taken this to a 6K gold lead. That is absolutely devastating for ROX Phoenix.
And Chen has just got the Twilight Bulb, which means that he will have a more safer place, a much safer place when he's doing his damage, and she can have his, the third AD item soon.
Since starting the Overlord for RNG.M, they've already got a 4-man rotation there. I don't think there's any way that ROX can even contest this, and this is what they need to end the game. This is going to give them a wave pressure. They need to dive these towers and put them away.
Another solo kill in the mid lane, and the Overlord has been defeated by RNG.M.
RNG.M grabs that Overlord. They now are going to have these dragons for the wave pressure. It's only going to make their economy go up more, as those dragons are worth less than an actual wave. Hasame getting caught out again, taking too much damage. We have a split as Kai is pushed back as well. We have RNG.M looking to push this mid-ground turret. They do have wave. No! Marco Polo is able to clear that way too fast.
But Sun Tzu is helping another wave on the top lane to get into the high ground tower. RNG.M is aiming for high ground tower,
they get on the back line. The God's Fall lands on 3. We're seeing Hasame taken way low. Faye needs to pop the ult, but it's a little bit too late as this tower is gone. And RNG.M is pushing for more. Salem is going down. Faye is tipped a little bit too low. They have Dragon coming in on the mid lane. ROX does make it back to base, but at what cost? RNG.M does not want to give this up. They're going in for more, clearing these waves and taking names. RNG.M will take those kills and take those towers.
Luckily for ROX Phoenix composition, they do have a Wang Zhaojun's ultimate to clean the waves. We are seeing like 2 waves together, aiming from the top lane to the crystal, and 1 ultimate can do it. And Wang Zhaojun just have that very strong AP damaging items, so will enable her to have more damage in the late game. It's already 14 minutes here. ROX Phoenix, just hold on here. You got a chance.
Yeah, just hold on. They've made it 14. If they can get 15, 16, their team comp is going to be much more effective in this game. They already have 1 high ground tower down, but that doesn't mean that they can't find a really good pick, grab an Overlord, and just run it down mid.
But look at the positioning of RNG.M's members. I don't think they are given opportunity to ROX Phoenix to steal the time into the late game. They're constantly pressuring their lanes into the both side lanes and mid lanes, and they're taking this Dark Tyrant, which means that ROX Phoenix does not have any resources to take. Their jungles are totally invaded, they're totally taken away, and this neutral object, they just have nothing to fight for.
And we're seeing that in the gold disparity. 7K gold lead to RNG.M. They've got the Dark Tyrant buff. This is a perfect time for them to manage these waves. That's why we're seeing all the 3-1-3 rotation, and then go in for game.
As Sun Tzu has his ultimate rush into the top lane, they want to make sure to ensure that the lanes, the waves, reach the high ground tower, reach the crystal at the same time. For members are giving pressure to ROX Phoenix, Sun Tzu is there, ready for the battle.
We have waves crashing on the bottom lane. Each team is looking for an engage. RNG.M is looking to end the game. ROX is looking for the counter engage to save them. RNG.M doesn't have waves crashing at the same time. They decide, okay, let's take the jungle, clear it so we can keep them from coming back and remanage these waves, right? They want 2 crashing so that they are always getting something for their fights. Zero taking a little bit too much damage here mid. No engages yet.
RNG.M is waiting for the ultimate, and here we go, another ultimate from Liang Chen. A very good initiation from their composition.
We have the 2 waves crashing. Huge damage by Xiancheng. We are looking for the engage. Will Liang Chen be able to go on Salem? He's looking for it. He wants to find it. He's getting damage on the wave, but they just can't find these towers. They can't find the pick. What they really need is the Fallen God by the Lubu. I think they need Lubu to rotate, get the 2-man knockup again, and take these towers so they can end the game. Hasame's caught out a little bit low. Faye is also chipped down. We're seeing the tower take some damage. We've got waves crashing on bot as well. Faye pops the ult. He's able to push RNG.M back. Tit for tat, tit for tat.
Fallen
Each team,
God!
It comes out. Faye with the counter. They're taking too much damage. RNG.M is able to snag the tower. They're looking for more. Glow is put down low. Faye is put down low. We finally see UKO go down. We see Asame go down. We see Salem go down. Glow and Doe are fighting desperately to defend this base, but it's just a race for time as RNG.M clears the side of ROX Phoenix.
The next wave and a million in the top lane are arriving soon, and there will be more than 30 seconds for the remaining 4 members to resurrect. And there goes Marco Polo!
Marco Polo, he tried to get in with that ult, but he takes way too much chip damage. Fallen God isn't able to snag him, and now
the wave in the bottom lane!
RNG.M will take the first game of the Honor of Kings 2019 World Champion Cup.
We've seen beautiful execution, beautiful, wonderful communication coming out of RNG.M, and I really think they have a very good understanding of their composition, of where they are the strongest, and when the time reached 10 minutes, we've seen the Diaochan play so aggressively from the first minute to the end.
You know, I want to give a shout out to ROX Phoenix for taking the first blood, winning the first fight. I don't think RNG.M expected that at all. Not only were they able to grab that first blood, they were able to trade towers evenly when the time came. Like, that is just such a huge push. If they can pull something out and just keep that momentum going, I think they might be able to take it farther in this second game.
You know, to put some analysis into the team's composition, in the late game, we easily see that UQ actually have that burst damage, but it's not enough. Wang Zhaojun, Marco Polo, they do not have those damage who can kill one single person at instant.
Yes.
They're not Shen Mengxi, they are not Bomber Cat. They do not have that burst damage to kill Gong Sun Li in 1 second. So we are saying that Gong Sun Li is successfully shutting down to half HP by Yukio, but his HP just healed back by Sun Bing's second ability. That's the weakness, one weakness ROX Phoenix composition was dealing with at the last game.
Exactly. They didn't have the farm they needed to do the damage. We also never saw a good combo, right? Like, we never saw the Zhongfei ult and then the Marco Polo follow up, right? And then, you know, Kai come in and then he follow up. Like, we didn't even see the Kai engage with his ult, which can take so much damage, and then follow up by the Marco Polo. It was mainly fighting for their lives, right? It was mainly, dang, we're already pushed back. We're having to apply counter pressure, counter engages. If we could have seen some more chain CC out of ROX Phoenix, I think a lot of those fights could have went in their favor, just like the first one. When they snagged that first blood, it's a misstep by RNG.M completely. They go all in on the Faye. They go all in on the tank. Faye is able to pop that ult, take damage, they're stunned, and then they finally get that chain CC. We need to see a repeat of that if ROX wants to take fights off RNG.M.
Yeah, if we are taking a look at the data, at the damage contributed at the, after like 1 minute later,
yes.
I believe that Kai is not doing a lot of damage in this game because we're constantly seeing Kai taking care of the wave, the side lanes. There's no time, there's no space for Kai to dive into the backliners because their frontliner cannot hold for long. They cannot solve the time for Kai to find a perfect way to dive in, and Kai, with all the damaging items, cannot find a place to use it.
Yeah, and you know, a lot of times that's why we might see Kai played more in the jungle so he can get his level 4 early and then make those engages right away. But because they took that Yukio so early, you know, it wasn't something that they were going to be able to do.
You know, fairly saying that the composition of ROX Phoenix is not bad, but the only sad news for them is that they're losing advantages way too early. They're giving RNG.M a lot of gold lead in the early game. And this happened under the circumstances where they got the first blood. They got the first kill in the first battle in the first day of our group stage KCC.
Yeah, you know, where I think ROX could really shine and where they kind of had it a little bit, they were starting to find it, is they need to be more confident in their abilities and just execute. I think they were sort of feeling out RNG.M this time, which is more of something you would expect RNG.M to do, right? RNG.M should be filling out, you know, ROX Phoenix. ROX Phoenix should be just going for their strat 100%. I think it was a little bit weird that they decided to not even go for the dark, the regular tyrant. At the very first tyrant, they don't even go for it. They don't even go for vision on it. They just look for the blue buff. You said, okay, well, they don't want to fight RNG.M, so they're just getting vision, which is fine, but when they did fight, they did really well. Like, their early fights were really well for their team comp. I wish that they would have stuck to that instead of playing a little bit scared, right?
Yeah. we can see some flashbacks. I mean, there is a perfect combo with Zhang Fei with Wang Zhaojun, who initiated on this Diao Chan in the early game. That's the team fight I was referring to.
Yes.
Very nice combo, very nice chain CC. But what they did wrong is that after this team fight, they're supposed to go back. They're supposed to go back and heal themselves in the base. They're supposed to take the resources from jungle area. But they choose to, move around, rotate around in this mid lane and fight for vision. And this is the time where Zhang Fei does not have his ultimate.
Yeah, ROX overstayed the welcome and they got the belts, right, by RNG.M. If they would have done what you said, go back, heal up, get your own farm, they would have been almost even in gold at that point, and they might have been able to actually look for things like the Tyrant, like the Overlord, like the Dark Tyrant. Because every time Fei goes down, it's even longer that you have to deal with him getting his ults.
Yeah, we're seeing so many times. Oh, this is a solo kill that we didn't see before. Solo kill by Diao Chen's Wang Zhaojun. Diao Chen just have inherent advantages when it comes with matching up with Wang Zhaojun.
Yeah.
Because Diao Chen has a very high mobility. Wang Zhaojun secondly cannot successfully frozen her. So this is born to be.
And of course, it was right around, the 9-minute, the 10-minute mark where she was at her power spike. So she was looking for blood, right? Diao-Chan was definitely looking for blood, and she was able to find it. And now we have the team fight that ended it all, right? ROX gets a little bit too overextended out of their tower. They get the CC coming out of RNG.M. They go down, and Marco Polo is not going to be able to fight off 5 by himself. Like, it doesn't matter how good your wave clear is. His isn't even that great. You're not going to be able to take it.
I'm not so sure of how ROX Phoenix, the players, are feeling right now, but I'm 100% sure that Storm had a really good time. Diao Chan so happy. There's no certain enemy. We know Diao Chan is afraid of those controls. Zhang Liang, Dong Huangtai is not out there. Nobody can stop Diao Chan. Diao Chan with a Purify, he can dance wherever she wants. And the KDA 316, and I believe this Diao Chan will contribute over 30% of the damage in this game.
I'm gonna have to agree with you on that one. The mid
No
laner,
doubt.
yeah, no doubt. Storm really
It's stormy.
Was stormy.
He's stormy.
Storm was stormy this game. He was the one to watch. He dished out the damage. Would not be a far cry to say that he deserves MVP for all the things. Just from the picks to the kills to the vision, that Diao-Chan was putting in so much work. And this was something that we kind of wanted to watch, right? You kind of wanted to watch Glow because that was someone that's sort of a key player for ROX to look out for. How is Glow going to match up to Storm? He wasn't able to do it in the first match, but he might be able to do it in the second match. So we'll kind of see how that goes as the day progresses.
And the items that Storm, over 30, 36.6.
36. Almost 40% damage.
Yeah.
Very, very close by RNG Storm. Look at that kill participation by Zero, though. 100% kill participation. That means he was in every single fight
He was
in
always
that game.
accompanying the carries.
Yeah.
That's a data, that's a statistic best for support.
Yes.
I mean, the KDA is 1, 0, 10. Wow, who could do that?
Only 0, apparently. That was absolutely amazing. And look at this gold advantage. I do want to point this out because look how close ROX was for so long, especially when RNG.M was really expected to win the early game. Like, we thought RNG.M was going to take some early team fights, get 1 or 2 kills, and then snowball, but that didn't happen, right? ROX Phoenix really held them out for almost as long as they needed to get their team comp online. Just not quite enough.
Yeah, and MVP with no doubt goes
Obvious.
to RNG.M Storm, who has a KDA of 316 and contributed to 36.6% of the damage. And one thing I'm interesting, the damage taken, nearly 21% of the damage.
As the mage.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm calling her as a tank on the front line, because Diao-Chan is a character, is a hero who does not rely on that much of AP items. She only needs like 2 or 3 AP items, and that's enough. He can build the Glacial Buckler to reduce her cooldown to make him more tanky, and he can have that Succubus Cloak as the last item he just built to make sure that she is safe enough in a team fight and won't be killed because of their burst damage.
Yeah, I think that Succubus Cloak ends up being such a key item for them. What else becomes a key item that we didn't even get to see last game, but I'm sure we'll start to see it as these games progresses, is the Sage Sanctuary. That is the revive item of the game. And we didn't get to the 15-minute mark,
because
right?
the
We
time-
didn't get late enough for them to be able to buy it, for them to be able to get full builds. Not even RNG.M got enough gold to be able to buy that Sage Sanctuaries there, but they did become extremely important as we move into that 15-minute, 16-minute mark, because those heroes are going to come back online once they die.
And we're talking about, we're playing in a system which is called all-round BP.
Yep.
So the character that both teams played cannot be played again by that particular team.
Yes.
So we are looking forward to see a lot of more varieties on the composition dominated by both ROX and RNG.M. And now RNG.M has used Diaochan, so this point is taken away.
Yeah, it's gone. No more Diaochan for Storm.
They do have a lot of other options, such as those assassin-like mages, like Chang'e. Chang'e is one example.
Zhuge Liang.
Zhuge Liang as well. So on the other hand, ROX can have a lot of options to pick. There's a lot of hero pools open to ROX Phoenix. So I don't think that losing one game is so destroying.
No,
for
definitely not, especially
ROX
because
Phoenix.
we talk about ROX has one of the biggest hero pools in the entire games. Their systems are so broad. They have so many strategies that they can pull off that they literally at the ban draft, it almost looks like their ban draft is bad because you're like, what are they doing here? Because they're just picking so much different stuff, but it's not bad. They always make it work to their strategy. They got first blood. Like, somehow, ROX, no matter what they pick, what they ban draft, they have a strategy in place for it, and they execute it fairly well.
You know, I actually think different with you, because the ban draft of ROX Phoenix, there is no obvious problem. There's no obvious rawness about
no, not
their
in
ban
this
draft.
last one. Not in this last one.
But
no.
RNG, surprisingly, they took the Diaochan at the very last pick. So our ROX Phoenix does not have the opportunity to do the counter picks, such as Zhang Liang and Donghuang Taiyi.
Yes.
So I believe that it is the smart move, the smooth move by Helios, by the coach from our RNG.M. He chose to hide this Diaochan, to hide this nightmare
Package
in
the
the last
Diaochan,
pick.
yeah, nice and sneakily sent it off through that ban draft phase.
Yeah, that's interesting.
You know, I think that just might be experience, right? Something that you learn from playing game after game, coaching game after game after game. It just comes down to a matter of experience at that point to be able to sneak in a hero that is going to be extremely effective for your team to win the game. And we know Storm on the MVP on that Diaochan was extremely effective.
And Mai Shlanui is also a choice for both RNG.M and ROX, because this character has such a good mobility and she can gank the silings with a very high efficiency. So I was looking forward to see more aggressive play by RNG.M. But you know, when we were discussing days back then, when you are competing with an enemy who is stronger than you, what strategy will you choose? I personally prefer that you are aggressive in the early game, and I will compete you in the early game. I won't stall in the late game, because I know in the late game I won't be an enemy for you.
It's going to come more to mechanics.
Yeah,
it's going to
just
come
be
down
bold.
more to those.
Yeah.
Yes.
Be
you know,
creative.
I think that it's important to always follow your strategies. When we see a lot of teams fall apart in ban draft is when they rely too much on the counter picks, right? It's like every pick is a counter pick, and then you look at your comp and you're like, well, wait a minute, you know, we didn't really pick any synergies, we just countered everything. And that can work, but for the most part, where I see the most teams shine is like when they decide this is what we want to play, we're going to play this no matter what. If we can get a counter pick into this comp, awesome. If we can't, it doesn't matter because we're going to play our game. And I think ROX is a really interesting team where their strategies are hard to dissect. They're hard to be like, oh, this is what they're going to do. Just because they have so many, they do so many different things that, like you said, it would be totally cool for them to pull off some early strategy and to play the tricks. They know that they won the early game. They pretty like an even early game with their comp was basically a win against RNG.M, right? Because their comp is meant for late game. So not getting shut down in the early game is pretty much a small victory for ROX. If you know you can do that, do what you said. Play to the early game. Put in a strong early game comp and don't make it a we didn't lose, right? Make it a we're going to win this hard.
Yeah, you know, I think what's important for ROX Phoenix is that they choose the heroes who have the ability to protect their jungles and to open up, to initiate the fight at once. For example,
yes.
I am thinking of Su Li, I'm thinking of Xia Houdun, who has a lot of little combo chains and who can protect their jungles so that RNG.M will be kept away from their territory. And ROX Phoenix, this game, they're coming to the blue side. They have the priority to choose the first hero, and here we go, Pangu.
Yeah, Pangu actually extremely interested to see how this hero plays out because he got a little bit of a rework in the last patch, so we'll see how he does. That is one of the most, known as one of the most strongest heroes in the game before this patch. He's often 100 times banned, and now we're finally going to see him in the second match.
Oh, Zhang Ziya system just out in their only like second game of today's matches. Zhang Ziya is left out for RNG.M to choose, and we know that in the most recent meta, Pangu has already been a little bit nerfed.
Yep.
Yeah, because the damage in the early game is a little bit nerfed because the bleeding effect is nerfed, but Pangu will also forever be a nightmare for marksman as well.
Yeah, you know,
Ooh,
I also love the
the
Bajie, right? That Bunk's bounce is crazy. That Pig's engage is so good, and when you're comboing it with something like the Zhang Ziya, he's gonna be able to get to his ult so fast that we're gonna see some early fights from RNG.M for sure.
I'm so happy that ROX Phoenix is taking action. They're doing what we're saying.
What we were talking about, exactly.
You're going aggressive. Okay, I will go aggressive with you together.
Let's fight this.
Yeah, let's fight this. Our fight started in the first 5 minutes. You know,
yes.
Whoever won the first 5 minutes won this game. So Beijing will definitely 2 aggressive picks in the early game, and on the other side, RNG.M, Zhang Ziya, and Zhu Bajie and Su Lie. Wow, Su Lie. Su Lie was a hero that I think suits ROX Phoenix more, but RNG.M is taking this away from ROX Phoenix.
I was going to say exactly that. Maybe the exact reason that RNG.M picks it is just to pull it away from ROX Phoenix,
stealing
right?
it from you.
Like, let's grab this from them. It's going to work in our comp anyways, right? Sulie's got great engage, and he's got great counter initiation as well. Let's take this hero. We've already got the Bajie for the main engage. We're going to get off good damage. We're going to get off good ults early.
Yeah, and since RNG.M has choose Zhang Ziya, so this Su Lie will definitely go to support, and this Zhang Ziya will go to mid lane and played by Storm.
Yeah, so we will get to see Storm on the Zhang Ziya. For those that don't know, he's a hero that allows your team to get more experience, right? So they're going to hit their level 4s faster as long as they're playing correctly, and they're going to have ults. It really helps you apply early pressure to things like the Tyrant spawning.
So I really think that RNG.M want to finish off this game in the early phases because Zhang Ziya and Su Lie, Zhang Ziya can give extra experience to all the members so that they can reach level 4 very quickly, and Su Lie has a double life. His passive has enabled him to resurrect from the place where he died, and again, boom, he's back again. So they were very aggressive in the early game, especially with Su Lie as well. So I was looking forward to see more picks from RNG.M. The tank will be Bajie, so what about the other side lanes?
Yeah, interesting. It really is going to come down to the other side lanes. Also, it's not on the screen anymore, but we saw the Prince of Lanling banned, which if ROX was to, at this point in the game, it's an interesting ban in my opinion, because if ROX was to take that, they'd be taking that as a support, but they don't really have like the side lanes to, you know, offer that. So I'm really interested why RNG.M decided to go with that ban. What do you think?
Because Prince of Lanling is a total threat to Zhang Ziya. Because Zhang Ziya in the mid lane, Prince of Lanling can disappear and just showed up behind your back, and there's no way that Zhang Ziya can escape that. So this ensure that Zhang Ziya can safely
survive
till the end. Yeah, survive till the end. Because Zhang Ziya needs to be alive so that he can give extra experience to his members. And Nakadulu, a very good combo. Honestly, the highest priority with Zhang Ziya. No one suits better with Zhang Ziya than Nakadulu.
Yeah, when you have the follow-up ult by the Nakaruru, that's just an absolute deletion. They're going to be able to put people like Glow, right, like the Xuanguan down instantly, and they're not even going to have them in the fight.
Athena!
And we mentioned this earlier.
Sacrificing strategy. Finally coming out of ROX Phoenix.
This is ROX Phoenix's wild card strategy. They play that Athena, a hero that never gets played, but when she dies, she does not actually die. She's able to go around the map, provide vision, and come back to life. I'm really excited how they're going to end up playing this out and how RNG.M is going to deal with this, because this is definitely something that they never had to deal with in KPL.
Honestly speaking, that will be annoying. This Athena. Now let's give a little bit more explanation for our audience. The Athena choices by ROX Phoenix will go on to support, and her main job is to die. And because when he dies, he will reach a passive where she can fly all over the map and offer her members vision.
It's almost like taking the Lanling without having all the damage, right? She'll still have the vision from her. She obviously won't have that damage from it. But, you know, maybe it'll help them get on the Zhang Zia. Maybe they'll be able to get on him and kill him before, you know, we can see some strong engages. I don't know. That's a really interesting pick. ROX is the only people that do it, and we get to see it game 2. Really excited for this.
The ROX is really determined. I just want to open vision from your jungler. I want to see every move from Chen Chen's Nakalulu. I want to lock you down. So even you ban away, you take away Prince of Landling. Okay, I have Athena. I'm not afraid of that. You know?
Yeah.
I'm not afraid to that.
Sure, fine.
Yeah, fine. Just engage with me. I'm not losing anything.
Yeah, and so I wanted to point this out because you're like, oh, Athena, she's supposed to die, which everyone's like, probably back home is like, what? The hero is, you're supposed to be dead? And yes, this hero is supposed to be dead because the more she dies, the less gold she's worth, right? So the more deaths she takes, you're not giving anything to the enemy team when they kill you. It's basically nothing, no gold, no experience after she gets to a certain number of deaths, and she still gets to provide that vision for her team to make the engages. So honestly, really interesting. I'm excited to see how that plays out. Honestly, RNG.M though, their comp is just solid. Like that is a solid KPL comp. We've got strong engages by the Bajie. We've got the follow-up by, you know, the Nakaruru and the Sulea. Old Master's gonna be able to split push super effectively. They're honestly, he's gonna be hard to fight, right? Like the only one we're seeing is going to be extremely hard to fight.
Yeah, so this Old Master is picking up to, especially to be lined up with Miyue, because Miyue is a nightmare towards marksman, towards any soldier. But the only thing she's afraid of is is the Old Master, because the ultimate will shred her down. Because Miyue has his first ability, he can fly around. She has his ultimate where she cannot be touched. He is on-caught targetable, so she will be very free on the side lanes. But the Old Master will be a nightmare and will be an enemy, will be the only one person who can stop this Miyue.
Yeah, we're really looking on Old Master to lock her down with his ult, so that way she goes down and can't become invulnerable. That would be ideal for the side of RNG.M. And they're gonna get like, okay, so RNG.M, every single ult on their team is basically devastating, right? Like the Suleo, devastating. Old Master ult, devastating. Zhangliang, okay, fine. But everyone else, super like Bajie and Nakaruru is going to be super devastating. So when they hit level 4, they're going to be hard, if not almost impossible, to fight without some serious chip damage or a serious burst on a hero coming out from ROX. Like, that is going to be an extremely hard team to deal with.
You know, I was looking forward to see a lot of rotations, a lot of communication coming out of RNG.M's composition, because you do have Zhang Zia, you do have Nakalulu. This combo will give you extremely high burst damage in the early and mid game.
Exactly.
So you have to choose the side lanes you want to gank. For example, Miyue, you want to keep him where she is. You want to keep him just behind the towers so that she will not be unstoppable and pushing the waves constantly towards her high ground tower. So the main point, the main target for RNG.M's composition is that they have to stop Miyue in the early game. They have to create and give Miyue a lot of pressure to deal with so that the Miyue will not be a problem. But they have to deal with Athena as well.
So that's exactly what I was gonna say, is that this game is actually this is going to be the weirdest because we'll never get to say this again ever, right? This game is literally coming down to this Athena. Like, what if this hero is successfully pulled off, you know, ROX is going to be able to implement some amazing stuff going into this match. And with that, we are on our game 2 of ROX Phoenix versus RNG.M.
They're racing to the river to get a vision, and luckily we're seeing that the Athena has a talent as a smite, so he can successfully steal a lot of resources from RNG.M's jungle and die.
And die. Of course, don't forget dying to provide the vision. That's exactly what we want to see. We want to see a lot of steals from this Athena, from Faye. That is going to be paramount to ROX's strategy going into this last game. We already have Fu pressuring Old Master pressuring the Mayue on top, so we're seeing that go down. And on bottom, Salem is doing some work on this Bajie because he's not going to be able to do as much damage early game. Pongu is a monster.
Yeah, Pongu's a monster, but he cannot.
Woo! Caught up in the jungle. Faye is looking to take Chen down. He's got so much damage, but he gets countered, and he dies like he's supposed to.
Yeah, let's that's what Faye is looking for. You know, I'm here, just punch me, just hit me, whatever you like.
Yeah, he wasn't able to snag the blue buff, and he wasn't able to put down Jungchen, but it was a good attempt. I was really looking to see if he was going to snag either. Already in the red camp, taking that jungle. I love the invade. We've got the chip damage coming off by Glow. Storm's not going to be able to pressure in without that. Faye is looking to go down again. He's taking a lot of damage. He was not able to snag the red buff either, but he'll still be providing this vision, and that is just so annoying.
And Faye, even though Faye does not get this red buff, but indeed, he is sharing the experience with Nakalulu, so Nakalulu did not have the total experience of this red buff. But you know, we're seeing that Chen is not distracted by this Athena. He's trying to avoid this Athena and trying to gank with his members.
Ooh, Faye taking some more damage by Zero. It looks like he's going to go down for free again and just keep providing that vision. This is exactly what we talked about. Faye needs to die a lot so that he's not worth any golden experience as the game goes on. Now we have the Tyrant spawning right here. Doesn't look like we're going to get any rotations. This could just be a take for RNG.M. Gotta watch the phase with Smite though. Smite is up. You gotta watch the steal. Not able to pick it off.
Yeah, ROX is letting this first Tyrant go because you are opposing with Jiang Ziya. They do have a one level higher than you, so that's not a fair trade. So ROX is giving up this first Tyrant to RNG.M. And again, invasion to blue buff. Kill spree already.
Killing spree. 4 kills, no buffs successfully grabbed by this Athena. But we also have no towers either, so RNG.M's not been able to push onto any towers. They haven't been able to take advantage of this gold lead that they have yet. We need to see them get on someone else other than Athena.
But one thing that is a little bit unorthodox of ROX Phoenix composition is that you do choose to sacrifice Athena.
Oh, Do taking massive damage down here, and they will push him out of the jungle. We have Salem rotating, seeing if they can pick this red buff back up, and they do. Zero is forced to drop the red buff, and not able to snag, and able to snag the small camp though.
But just continue what I'm saying. ROX Phoenix, the carries of ROX Phoenix, both Shang Guanwang and Pi Xinhu, they will begin to diminish in the mid game and late game. So I was a little bit doubtful of their picking. So that's not a very good choice.
Down here on the bottom lane, the picks back lands. Do is forced back to tower. Salem is looking for the counter engage. They have waves crashing, and RNG.M is looking to take this first tower. Lian Chen is able to push him back. They aren't able to get the damage. Faye is able to clear the wave. Good job by Athena saving that bottom side tower.
And the top lane, Shang Guanwang managed to kill Yu Yu's old master, and they have this priority on the top lane wave.
That is a good trade for ROX. They are going to lose a few camps, right? Storm's not going to be able to get there in time for that first camp to spawn, so it's a little bit less gold that they're able to take, but they are losing this bottom side tower, and Faye is going to go down again.
You know, one thing ROX Phoenix is lacking is that you do have the vision, but you're not doing anything with the vision.
Yeah, so not capitalizing on the vision.
You are knowing the position of Chen Chen, then you know he is in the red buff, in the blue buff, then you invade in the blue buff and red buff and take something. So they're not doing anything.
Ooh, looking to pick up Glow here. He's taking way too much damage, and he goes down!
He is burned to death by Jiang Ziya's passive.
Yeah, he did not expect that damage from Jiang Ziya out of the bush.
And let's see
the top lane fight we missed. We have Hasame going in on Old Master. Old Master locks him down, so he can't get away from the tower damage, but the follow-up from Glow's ult will put him down, Old Master. Unfortunately, it's gonna be a single.
Another pressure in the mid lane though.
Hasame taking lots of damage. The Pig's Bunk comes out to escape. Faye comes right online at the perfect time to be able to push Zero into the wall. They've got Chain CC. ROX Glow coming in with the ult is getting massive damage on Xiancheng. He's forced to back off with his ult. He's looking for the counter engage. They can't find it. Faye goes down. She's able to still provide vision for the team as they're looking for this team fight. Hasame tries to find damage on the Pig, but he cannot, and Glow goes down.
Do just raise into the team fight, but it's already over. So it's a 0-2 in favor of RNG.M. ROX is losing 2 members at the team fight. It's already 1-12. And
well, that number is a little deceiving because we know that Faye is supposed to die every single time. So it's more of 1-9,
yeah, but
realistically.
That's still not a good news for ROX.
No.
Yeah, I don't think they played the strategy
Hasame caught in the jungle.
well.
Xiancheng is landing on him with the ult. He's got the damage, and the follow-up from his team will be another kill to RNG.M.
It has to be. It does not have a flicker, does not have his ultimate. She is just waiting for the death.
Yeah, Do had nowhere to go, and he was put back to his base.
Faye is still trying to steal whatever she can do, but I mean this goal deficit is hard to climb up.
Especially because of those towers. Towers are worth so much more now that securing early towers is just so important for snowballing your team, and Faye wasn't able to snag early buffs from the enemy team. So unfortunately, this is be the first buff that Faye's able to grab, and it's already 6 minutes in the game.
Another ultimate of Old Master onto Miyue, and we are no longer surprised to see the death of Athena.
Yeah, no. Athena going down every single time. We've got Wave crashing mid. Zero looking for the gauge. They didn't find it on Doe. Doe is thrown back into the fight. Faye is just trying to scare people away, but she does nothing as Lian Chen is getting some chip on the back line. We've got Yu rotating in on the bottom. They are wanting to take a fight. They have the advantage. Anything they can take now is good news. Faye is going in because she has to die. It was a great bait, but it's not enough as RNG.M pulls the tower away from ROX Phoenix.
So ROX Phoenix, fortunately for ROX Phoenix, they managed to save this Tier 1 turret in the mid lane because Narkulu did not find a perfect time and perfect play to dive in, but they choose to chase you into your red buff and take your resources and make your members going deeper from your base. Wow!
So much damage, and Pangu dies. That is a devastating kill for ROX, as now they have Wave crashing in a 5v4 or 4v4 push onto this mid tower. RNG.M is free to take everything out of ROX's jungle.
And there is 25 seconds remaining for the first Overlord to spawn, and with no doubt that will be RNG.M's.
Yeah, that is definitely going to be RNG.M's. They've got complete wave pressure, and they've got vision all set up. I like that we're seeing the Fu rotate. He's going to go get everything they can. They're going to set up for this Overlord. Faye's obviously got the vision, so ROX will know when they're taking it, but what are you going to do at this point? What fights are you going to take? You really got to find some sort of pick if you want to come back in this game.
Yeah, and ROX Phoenix is trying to avoid Miyue being matched up with Lao Fuzi, with Old Master, so they shift Miyue onto the bottom lane, but look at where Lao Fuzi is.
He knew.
He is everywhere. You're just avoiding the inevitable.
Yeah, Old Master able to lock down that Mayue. I mean, honestly, it's because they have towers, right? Like, the Muyo has to go bottom to see if they can pick up that bottom tower and open up the map a little bit more, but she's not going to be able to do much against Old Master. However, she's got a 3v1 fight coming in. They have waves. Will the Master stay? He doesn't. They are going to be able to take that bottom. Faye gets caught out. Faye goes down, and that is going to be an Overlord.
And Baji is preventing Pangu from getting into the Overlord and trying to steal this Overlord from RNG.M. And we're just saying that Baji has this Eye of Phoenix. Phoenix will make Baji unkillable. He was always constantly regenerating from the damage he took. And wow, another pressuring on the mid lane. There's a cannon there.
RNG.M just grabbing chip damage, and ROX decides not to even contest, as they'll let that tier 2 mid tower fall. We're looking for some counter engage here. ROX is pushing out, getting some vision. I mean, they already have the Athena, but she's caught down. Athena will go down again. And we're not seeing any fight being able to take it. Oh, here on the bottom, we finally get an engage. A 3-man knockup by Zero. And they're all pulled low by ROX.
So the ultimate of Suli actually saved a lot of members. The Nakulu is very low, Jiang Ziya and Yu is very low as well, but this knockup actually saved their lives.
Great wave management by ROX as they've got 2 waves crashing. They're looking for an engaged Storm, getting that chip damage off on the enemy waves. They've got the mid tower going down. Faye's got the vision, but no vision is going to help you on your high ground towers as you have those towers both going down. RNG.M is looking to take everything they can from ROX Phoenix.
RNG.M has taken 2 high ground tower from the side of our ROX Phoenix within 10 minutes, and the goal lead has already extended like 10,000 and 11,000 gold lead.
ROX Phoenix is really looking for a miracle at this point. Yeah, having a gold lead of over 10,000 is absolutely brutal for ROX Phoenix. I don't know if there's any fight they could really take at this point in the game.
If their composition is completely different, I would root for that they still have the hope. But their carries are Pei Qinghu and Shang Guanwang.
Yep.
Those characters, those heroes will begin to diminish in the mid and late game. So honestly saying, ROX Phoenix does not have much of a hope to turn this high around.
And like you said, this Lian Chen is unkillable. We have not been able to get on Baji at all, and when you have that counter engaged by Zero by the by Zero, by Sulier, they're not able to take any fights, right? Like, not only do they not have the gold or any of the damage to take any fights, but they can't take any fights against this Bajie because he will not die, and they get counter-engaged by Zero every single time.
So the last overlord, last two overlords is on the side lanes, and Faye is trying her best to finish these lanes.
She could not even stop the Winnie Maven. With 1 minion, they're going to be able to take that tier 2 tower.
You know, one thing you cannot give to this Jiangxia system is that Jiangxia's ultimate is a really good ability to avoid you, to keep you away from our frontliners. Because you are seeing those very
lines,
thick strips.
yes.
You are seeing those lines. You cannot stay in those areas. And if you are hit by this ultimate, it is actually, there's a lot of damage.
Not only is it a lot of damage, but he's basically hard to get onto as well because he's got so much good counter engage. He's got the Bajie, he's got the Sule. There's no one that can push through those heroes reasonably at this point in the game to kill the Jiangxia.
Yeah, and let's see ROX Phoenix composition. 盘古、裴擒虎、上官婉儿、芈月，还有 and this Athena. No, I didn't see those characters with like distant reaching abilities. They're very melee soldiers.
Yes,
so that
melee
they can,
abilities.
Yeah, they cannot get their hands onto the Jiangxia. Jiangxia is ready for a flicker of the ultimate.
Ooh, that wave clear is so good by the Bajie. He's able to grab the entire wave, and now they've got waves crashing in on ROX. They're looking to put down Faye. Faye goes down. He will be not out as Salem walks back to base. RNG.M is just looking to take anyone down as they have all the heroes here. They're not even going for the core. They are looking to shred ROX and make a statement as they take game 2 in the KCC.
2-0 in favor of RNG.M. They only need to win one more game to get this score and starting their journey on 2019 KCC with a very beautiful beginning. So, to sum up, as we were talking about and during the game, Athena, very creative and very bold endeavor to pick this composition at this phase. But when you have Athena, when you have the vision of the opponent's jungler, you have to do something into compensation. But you are not given lives. You're not given just simply given money over to your enemies. You have to do something. You have to steal something back.
Yeah. We needed to see them get more value out of taking this Athena strategy. They had all the vision they needed to make plays, but again, just like the first game, they decided not to quite go in and make them, right? Like, the Athena wasn't able to snag any of the buffs. That's okay. You knew you were facing like one of the best junglers of all time in this series, right? You knew that it was going to be hard, that Jian Chung doesn't miss any farm. I mean, top farmer in the entire league. So, what else can you do, right? Are you gonna rotate? Is your team gonna rotate and go for like a 5-man gank? Are you gonna rotate to that Tyrant and go for the steal? Like, we never saw any team rotations by that. We never saw, Faye get vision on the Jiangxia and then other people go in and put him down early so they didn't get advantage of his passive, right? Like you said, we saw the Athena come out and be used to get vision, but there was no team follow-up for her vision, and that's what they really needed to stop RNG.M from snowballing that game.
Yeah, when you have vision of both Nakalu and Jiangxia, I think one thing you can do is that you can focus on the complete opposite side of the map. You can constantly give in pressure to the Old Master. We've seen only one thing done by Shangguan Wan and Mi Yue. They killed Old Master, but only for once. I think
it was close.
Yeah, it was close. Oh, we can see the 3D replay, which is especially designed
so
for
close.
KCC.
I think this was a defining moment in the game. If Faye could have either stolen that or gotten one more hit on Jian Chung, that could have very well turned things around in the early game.
After watching these 2 games from ROX Phoenix, one thing for sure is that I think ROX Phoenix is always hesitating. They're unsure of what next moves are. They're so a lot of cases that we're witnessing. They're standing right there. They're doing nothing. They're just thinking, what should we do next?
That 4-man ult by Zero was absolutely devastating. I want ROX really to take advantage of the aggressive picks that they had. Like you said, all right, you know what? We're going to go head-to-head with you. We're going to play the early game. We're going to fight you in the early game. Then actually fight them. We need to see them actually fight them. I mean, this is potentially the last game that they're going to have.
Yeah. For example,
they have the opportunity to leave it all on the line.
So Guiguzi and Prince of Lanling is banned from the second round from the side of RNG.M, but they do left out Toro. So Toro will be a much better choice for ROX Phoenix to go to the support, because Shangguan Wang and Pei Qing is just not suitable with the Athena.
Yeah, they weren't sort of able to synergize with that Athena, and Toro with his engages is absolutely amazing. Having that Armageddon ult, just able to knock up potentially 5 people, allows you to do a lot, especially when one of them is Nakaruru, who's on a timer for her ult, right? There's lots of potential for chain CC, for chain damage to be done in that part. You know, also, if they could have taken more advantage of the Mayue, right? We saw Mayue had 100% kill participation for ROX, right? She was there for every kill. She was actually doing okay. Old Master's obviously a hard matchup, and so for her not to be getting extremely pushed in and extremely beaten up early game was pretty good. If they could have taken more advantage, like you said, by switching. I would have loved to see them just switch the Mayue out of there.
I like who this MVP goes to, RNG.M 0. I was looking at the KDA. I believe that the MVP will definitely go to Tianchen because he had 11 kills and he contributed to like over 30% of the damage. But if we took carefully and more closely at how they actually initiate the fight, how they actually slow down their enemies, that is a contribution of Sulie of 0.
Yeah, and we always saw Sulie on that counter engage. Bajie would go in first, he would take so much damage. Like you said, at one point he was just unkillable, right? His regen was too much. And then as soon as they thought they were going to even get to them, thought they were going to get on the back line, we had the Sulie come in, 4-man ult on the bottom side, and just absolutely devastate ROX Phoenix.
We're seeing like the items are just booming out of Nakaruru's item dashboard. He has a Nightmare, he has a Boost, he has a Siege Sentry, not Siege Sentry, Destiny. He has a Siege Breaker, and he has a broken Star Maze as well. So just imagine how much damage she can possibly do onto the backliner and also the frontliner as well. So I would say the damage is just unbearable to the side of ROX Phoenix, and RNG.M has already got to their game point.
You know, that game was interesting, especially as a viewer to watch because of the Athena strategy, right? Athena was dying so much, it was really hard to see how the gold lead went, right? So I really like that they showed the gold lead chart where, you know, you thought it was going to be like a straight rocket, but again, ROX was able to drag out the early game and not really take much of a gold lead loss, even though the Athena kept dying, right? You look at the kill count, you see 1 to 12, you're like, how are they not up, you know, more than 1,000 gold? And it's because, you know, ROX wasn't really giving anything to RNG.M. They didn't get anything from it, which is where we really would have liked to see. We really would have liked them to take more advantage of the Athena and get some kills themselves, get some towers, preferably towers since they're just so important at this point. But, you know, maybe in this next game, they'll pull something else out and be able to grab some early towers, some early aggression, some early kills.
If they're gonna pull out a new or kind of creative composition, I would think that the coach really needs to tell those players that what they have to do next. They're always hesitating on the map. They're just they're just unsure of
I think that's what it is. Unsure, indecisive.
Yeah, but for RNG.M, I think RNG.M is just okay. This is what RNG.M is.
Yeah.
They're just play peacefully and traditionally. This is how we play. This is how we snowball. Once I get a little bit gold lead, I will constantly invade you in the jungle, and I will give you no chances to fight for that neutral object.
Exactly. RNG.M is just playing standard KPL comps. They're really going in on that early game. RNG.M is a team that doesn't really like to play the late game, so that's why you're not seeing as many late game characters. You're seeing more of these really high damage dealing, high assassin-y early game heroes and early game comps come out, because what they're going to do is they're going to take 1 or 2 kills, they're going to take that gold lead, they're going to turn that into your jungle, they're going to turn your jungle into tyrants, they're going to turn that into the game.
Yeah, we started on the triangle side of the map, and we started to share the even neutral object, the even resources. But once after, we will discover that after like 10 minutes, the whole resources are RNG.M.
Yeah, all of them.
The whole map is our territory. That's how aggressive RNG.M is.
And you know, ROX Phoenix is known for having solid economy management, so even though they don't really take the early game, they don't really give up much to their team. And I think we've kind of seen that too. I kind of expected RNG.M to take the gold lead much faster, right? To take really early kills, really early towers, spike that gold lead, and just take it from there. But RNG.M, you know, sort of sticking to what they're known for, able to manage the resources even when they're using Athena and stay within a 2,000 gold deficit. Pretty solid work by them. really would like them to take some fights.
Yeah, I know. So we've seen like 2 games till now. So the first game, ROX Phoenix is choosing those compositions they find most comfortable with. And then second one, they were like, okay, just go for a battle, just go for a gamble, but they lost it.
Yeah.
But I think it's okay. Just go for whatever you like. Just go for whatever you feel the most comfortable with in this game.
Yes, because it's
You
going
got
to be...
nothing to lose.
You've got nothing to lose, and it's going to be really hard to fight someone like RNG.M at the standard, right? Like, they're a powerhouse. They are like one of the top teams in KPL. This is a team that is ultimately scary to fight, and maybe that's where a lot of the hesitation is coming from, because this team is just so formidable.
It's
And
overwhelming.
It's overwhelming, and so, okay, step back. Let's play our strategy, right?
Yeah.
We can't really, like I said, we can't really counterban them. We can't really do too much. We know that they've just got so much more experience that their execution is really top-notch. We're going to have to pull out a little bit of our chameleon strategy. We're going to have to pull out something a little bit crazy, take these fights, and just play more confidently. I think if ROX Phoenix played a little bit more confidently, they would actually be taking a lot more from RNG.M than they think they could take.
Exactly. Just play whatever you like. Just play your style, your own style of playing. Don't let your enemies lead you anyways.
Yes.
And, just remember, you got the first blood onto RNG.M. That's an achievement most of the KPL teams do not have.
yeah, true.
Yeah.
First blood. Well, RNG.M is known for, if they pull first blood, they have over 70% win rate. So if RNG.M takes first blood, they're most likely going to win the game. So to take first blood from them, that's saying like, oh, we're not going to let you win this game now. Super huge accomplishment for ROX Phoenix. Super proud of them for that. I think that ROX, I would really love to not only just see the confidence come out for them, but like you said, because they have nothing to lose, I want to see them take first Tyrant. Like, I want to, we haven't seen them go for any Tyrant at all. Not even go for the Vision. More plays safe. I really would like ROX to take first Tyrant, and I'm already liking what they're doing with this ban draft, to be honest.
So let's dive in the game point of RNG.M. So they ban away Zhang Jia. They don't want to, clearly they don't want to deal with the crazy combo, this crazy system as opposing partners, and DNJ as well, as I was anticipating. DNJ and Cai Zhenren will be the best, I could honestly, the best combo of the marksman and initiation like support. So because Cai Zhenren can give extra gold to DNJ and can give extra life with his ultimate, so DNJ will be very safe and very wealthy. And for Storms, for this third pick, Chen Yaojing. Chen Yaojing might either go into the side lanes, or into the jungler, or into the mid lane. Chen Yaojing is a very flexible pick.
Yeah, he can literally one of the hardest to kill heroes ever, because that ult just keeps regenning his health. Anytime his ult goes off, his health is going to keep regenning, makes him really hard to put down, makes him really suitable for the side lane, for those split pushing endeavors. He's got really decent wave clear as well, and he's going to be really good when you're going up against something like the Sensua or the Gonsun Lia. It's hard to put him down right away. If he has time to pop that ult, he's probably going to get away.
Yeah, and Chen Yaojing with a smite, he can easily just distract your backliners during the team fights, or we can steal a lot of pressure, we can steal a lot of jungles from your area. So Chen Yaojing will be a very good choice from the side of RNG.M. And on the other side, Xunze, as RNG has used it before in the first game, is picked by ROX Phoenix in this fight. Bomber Cat,
the Shen Mengxi.
Shen Mengxi's out, but those carries, they're really like late game carries, late game heroes. Both Gongsun Li, both Shen Mengxi relies on items so heavily that they hardly do any damage. Very little damage, I would say, in the early game.
And so, not only that, but your team is heavily relying on them, right? Heavily relying on those heroes to come online and to do damage. ROX hasn't made it to the late game yet. Will they make it this time?
That's one thing I'm afraid to see. Prince of Lanling and Chang'e. RNG.M is determined to finish this game, to win this first score in their 2019 KCC in, let's say, 13 minutes.
Yeah, they are definitely going for the early game. Prince of Longling is going to provide so much vision and damage for your team, ultimately falling off late game where you have to rely on more chip damage heroes to deal with towers, especially towers like the high ground and things like that. We're going to be really difficult to take just on his own, right? He really needs some damage. He's gonna need some damage from the RNG, who ultimately like doesn't have as much range as someone like the Gonsong Lee.
So when we're analyzing whether a composition is good or bad, we're looking for the early game damage, the mid-game damage, and the late-game damage.
Yes.
So RNG.M, this composition is a very perfect example for those 3 phases of the game. They do have the damage for the whole time. In the early game, they have Chang'e, they have Prince of Lanling, who can offer vision and damage as well. And in the late game, they do have DNJ and Cai Yizhenren. DNJ will be safely doing his damaging to the backliner of ROX Phoenix. But ROX Phoenix composition, there's no clear left out or weakness from this composition. It is tank enough. It has clear initiation.
Yeah, and counter initiation with the Su Liu as well.
It has very good solo laners. Sun Ce, they can manage the wave pretty well. They have initiation, they have tank killers such as Ba Jie. But the 2 carries, they need at least 15 minutes to farm up. Whether RNG.M chooses to give you this opportunity or not, that depends on their starting point.
Yeah, RNG.M is definitely not going to want to give them time to farm up. And it's going to be all in on these early engages. ROX, we need to see some early engages, some early things taken off the map, some early gold pushes. I mean, if ROX could take, you know, an early tower, they've got heroes that if they rotate it correctly, they could do it. I could see ROX taking an early tower. I could see them, you know, putting something in on a Tyrant. But that is the only way, because RNG.M is going to be so annoying to deal with. That Prince of Longling being invisible, not only is his invisibility good and his damage good for just killing, but it allows you to just pressure the entire enemy team.
Of course.
Especially when you're running like a 1-3-1 and you're double split pushing, you're getting chip damages on both towers. You never know. You're like, is it just the Long Ling here, or is the whole team in this mid lane bush waiting to gank me, right? It's a question, and you can't really answer. Like, the Ba Jie isn't going to be a great, you know, answer to that, you know?
Yeah, Prince of Lanling will have the ability to be invisible during the game. And there's one thing that when Prince of Lanling is around you, there will be an exclamation mark around
so you know that he's around
so
you.
you know. So sometimes we say that when he is not showing up, he creates more pressure than he actually did.
Yes.
Because you have no idea whether he's alone or not.
Exactly.
Whether he is paired with his members or not. So Prince of Lanling will create a lot of pressure, a lot of threat towards Gongsun Li, towards Bomber Cat, towards Shen Mengxi.
Exactly. Glow and Doe are going to have a real hard time when they see those indicators come up. They're like, oh my goodness, okay, I'm going to have to play safer. Luckily, Glow has one of the biggest ranges in the entire game, man. That Shen Mengxi can ult from across the map. His thing is insane. So he does have the ability to clear waves really fast. Also, I will say that Shen Mengxi is hard to push towers on because his wave clear is so good. If ROX can just get to one item, his wave clear is literally instant. And so it's going to be something that even if RNG.M has advantage, you know, they're not going to have wave. So they're really going to be relying on the Chen Naojin to dive in, you know, the follow-up from the Prince of Longling. And if we're not seeing these combos happen, it's going to be hard to take towers that way.
Yeah, it's the same mirrors as Wang Zhaojun's ultimate. They're the same thing. But we are looking at the Shen Mengxi and Gongsun Li. They're taking Purify at the same time to prevent being stunned and just killed at instant by Prince of Lanling. They're able to take it to escape once they were stunned by Prince of Lanling. So I would say this talent is especially made, especially carried.
They had to. They see that Longling come out. We know that they have to be able to get away.
Because Gongsun Li is born to have a lot of inherent dashes, so she really don't need another flicker. But for Shen Mengxi, I mean, most of the time Shen Mengxi will have a flicker, but in this case, because the Prince of Lanling is so threatening, it will be better if Shen Mengxi can have a Purify.
And they also are going to have to watch out when they do let the game go to, if like ROX, right? Let's say they do good early game. They're pushing this game to late game. Now they can finally apply some pressure to RNG.M. They're still going to have to watch out for that Tai revive, and especially on the Chang'e, whose ult damage is absolutely insane. Especially if you can get a single target on it, it's just going to be able to put down quite frankly, anyone that's not Ba Jie on their team. So, you know, really be paying attention to that. Tai is a hero whose ultimate revives people who are around him. If he can pull off some really cool ults, we could see some really cool counterplays by the ADC of RNG.M.
And Chang'e is a very interesting character, is a very interesting hero, because she is born with a very few bloodline. You can see he only got 1,000, nearly 1,600
no
HP.
health.
But that's a lie. She is very tanky. As long as she has enough blue, she is tanky. We can see the Fang Ai. He won't lose any HP.
And that'll be something to watch out for. You always think you can kill her when you can. It's a really baity hero. Good early wave clear by both. We are going into what could be the final game of
Ooh,
RNG.M versus
RNG.M is
ROX
making
Phoenix.
invasion into the blue.
I like this pressure. They want to take everything they can early game. It looks like it's going to be a take by them, and RNG.M snags the first blue buff.
And look at the position of Chang'e. She is standing in the position where tanks usually stand.
Yes.
You're standing to body blocking the whole members to take this blue buff in the first game, in the early game.
And ROX obviously knows this. They respect this. They decide not to even try to go for a dive there. They're going to focus on clearing that wave and getting a better rotation. I'm actually okay with that because I want ROX's rotations to be a little bit faster than RNG.M if they can, so they can work on getting some early game objectives.
So RNG.M started this fight with invasion to blue, and they managed to... but ROX did get another blue back, so it's a vertical farming up.
Yeah, both teams were doing some vertical jungling. They ended up a little bit even. It was really good counterplay by ROX, really good rotations. Obviously, they're not set up too good for this first Tyrant, but if they can catch somebody here, they might be able to make something happen. And they will not be able to find anything here. No damage at this time.
So, you know, because Gongsun Li has a little bit of advantage when he's matching up with RNG. So because RNG has absolute...
Zoro going in on the back line. He pops the revive a little bit too
First
early.
blood!
And RNG.M gives up first blood to ROX Phoenix.
Another first blood for ROX Phoenix. This is inspiring. This is encouraging. They are taking the first Tyrant in this game. Finally, we've been waiting for like 3 games now.
Three games to see ROX apply this pressure. Lonely getting some pressure in on Fade. They don't know where he's at because he's invisible. They get Fade down. Fade with the double knockback. I like that pressure. He's not going to go down because his passive allows him to come back to life. And ROX is looking to take this first Tyrant. They are able to snag it.
Oh, I just feel so happy for ROX Phoenix. I finally see how they're thriving. I finally see how they're trying to get vision, trying to get advantages. They're again
going for the invade. They're going for the
blue.
damage. They're looking for the blue buff. Oh, Chiquanchet goes down, and ROX Phoenix will take 1 for none and the blue buff.
Another kill by ROX Phoenix, who got Liang Chen's kill, and this kill goes to this credit goes to Gongsun Li, which is a good news because Gongsun Li is matching up with Chen Yaojing. He can constantly give Chen Yaojing more pressure so that Chen Yaojing will remain here, but instead of going anywhere.
Yeah, they need that farm, and RNG.M has not been able to find anything else to take, right? When they're taking these deaths, when they're losing, they weren't able to take that bottom lane tower, right? You can't really push on this Bajie with RNG. It's just not going to happen this early in the game. ROX is doing extremely well right now. They're actually at a 500 gold lead, 2-0. This is the first time we've seen ROX come out, take these fights, and win them.
And ROX right now is over. They have like 2 kill lead, and they're off to nearly 1,000 gold lead. I'm really looking forward to see how they manage to keep this lead and manage to snowball. Everything they do, every decision they made right now is really important.
Especially because they're putting the right stuff on the right heroes. A lot of the characters, like the Gongsun Li, like the Shen Mengxi, are going to come online, you know, not until the later game, but by getting these early picks, they're able to find it. Hasame is going in on Liang Chen. He's able to push him back to the tower. We've got a counter engage here, but the Gongsun Li comes in and gets the damage. Prince of Longling will go down. ROX is looking to take this first high ground tower, and they grab it.
So Prince of Longling is not in an invisible state. So he was seen by handsome Sun Ce. So handsome Sun Ce got his ultimate onto this Prince of Longling and managed to take him very low. And Gongsun Li, here we go, just pops in and does her damage.
Yeah, does her thing. Those dashes are so good. ROX invading now, looking to grab the blue buff. They are able to snag it, and they are backing out as a team. ROX is just looking so solid. Great communication on the side of ROX Phoenix.
And you know, once Gongsun Li has to outrun turrets in the top lane, he can transfer, he can shift into the bottom lane because she clearly has more advantages when it comes to matching up with RNG than Zhu Bajie. So he can actually save and free Zhu Bajie from constantly matching up with RNG.
You know, Liang Chen, one of the best junglers, Prince of Longling, one of the strongest early game heroes, but we haven't seen any value out of it yet. We really need to see him get onto the back line and do some damage if they want to start snowballing this in their favor, because the longer this game goes on, the better it's looking for ROX.
Look how much gold Gongsun Li had, the boost of dexterity, and Doomsday, she is unstoppable at this stage.
Yeah, Doomsday this early in the game is absolutely amazing for that Gongsun Li, but Glow gets caught out a little too far, and Prince of Longling finally doing his job. finding the first kill for RNG.M.
A little bit compensation coming out of in the mid wave, mid lane, but ROX Phoenix is just gathering in the mid lane to ensure that RNG.M cannot push this mid lane any further.
Yeah, they will have to give up the Tyrant for that, but I think it's the right call.
Yeah.
Giving up that mid lane tower this early would just provide way too much freedom for that Prince of Longling to get onto the back line and do damage. I think it was a little bit of a misstep over there by the Shenmeng-Chi. Fei goes in with a double ult. They find two. Zoro is trying to find him. Woo! And he comes back. He goes down. Do finds the first kill on the Tai. We're looking for more. Roxdo still getting chip damage on Storm, and Do will get out with the dashes.
I would say Do is feeling his confidence. He is moving. His positioning is bold. He is daring to take the challenges, to take the gambles, so that he can kill this person. And Do, I mean, just imagine how much gold do have right now.
Yeah. Yo, Do dashing in and out. He knows what this hero is all about, and he is just putting in work.
I have to say it again. You have to be a rapper instead of a caster.
I'll do a rap caster as we find another engage here in the mid lane. ROX Phoenix looking for some damage on Zero. Zero is not able to go down. He pops the ult really early there. He thought they were going to go for the engage, but they back off.
And we're seeing the dashboard. Gong Sun Li is making to work. Oh, already got the Endless Edge, which will make her auto attack really damaging, really hurt.
Yeah,
it's a lot.
We already see all the mobility this Gong Sun Li does. Really watch her autos now that she has that item. She's going to be able to put down heroes extremely fast. We need to see Prince of Longling start targeting her now over the Bomber Cat even, because she's just snowballed so far ahead at this point in the game.
But you know, one thing that RNG.M really did well is that even though they have like 1 to 4 kill the deficit, but they do manage to take this goal deficit in like the platform. They did not give ROX Phoenix another chance to make their goal lead even further.
I will say RNG.M, like you said, they have stopped the snowball from ROX Phoenix, but ROX Phoenix obviously is running a bunch of late game heroes, right? So ROX Phoenix, they don't necessarily need the gold lead as we come into like the 10-minute mark, right? Ideally, if they could have it, awesome, but we need to see RNG.M start taking advantage of these early game heroes, right? Like, we need more kills on the side of RNG.M and ultimately more towers. They were able to snag the bottom tower, which is really good for them. I would like to see them switch to RNG top and try to snag the top tower as well.
And because of the help of Tai, RNG actually did not have that much gold deficit with the Gong Sun Li. They have the same items, both Doomsday and Endless Edge.
We will see some pressure here by RNG.M. They're looking to find any kills they can. They were able to sort of plateau the gold here. We got Zero finding the engage on Fei. Fei's taking a lot of damage. Fei might even go down into passive. He does not, and he's able to walk away without dying.
Oh, that's a very few HP. I can hardly read. I can hardly see the bar.
Yeah, I definitely thought Fei's passive was going to proc and that was going to be helpful for this next team fight, but because he doesn't, that means he's still going to have it if he can get back in time. However, RNG.M could potentially be fighting a 4v4 here now that he was pushed back. They decide not to, though.
Yeah, because of RNG.M managed to take this Zulia very low, so they have the priority in the waves in the mid lane, and they have this Tyrant. So RNG.M is playing very cautiously because they do not have a very advantageous starting early game. So they're trying to protect, they're trying to fight vision in the neutral objects, and they're making sure that ROX do not have more spaces, more resources to farm up.
Yeah, it'll really become a battle of the Cheng Yao Jin and the RNG with the Longling combo late game, right? Longling trying to put in some pressure and then them getting chip damage. We're seeing a little bit of a trade back and forth here by the Cheng Yao Jin. He's going in on the backline, but he gives up the kill for free. And ROX is going to make that a 1-5 lead in their favor now.
So Cheng Yao Jin does not even have the time to have this ultimate on. He was dead, and the healing is not used. So the burst damage of Gong Sun Li, we can all witness that.
Yeah, you know, Gong Sun Li's burst damage, absolutely insane. We've made it to 9 minutes. She's got 2 items. She's working on that 3rd item. This is looking really good in the favor of ROX. RNG.M thankfully was able to take some Tyrants to keep them in the game, and that's going to even up their gold as well, right? So now is the time for RNG.M to sort of get a pick and make something happen. ROX knows that, and we can see them being aggressive in turn.
I could say that ROX attacking, ROX aggressive play, the rhythm is kind of stopped by RNG.M because they manage the whole map, they manage the waves so well that they're not giving ROX Phoenix any chances to move their goal lead any further. And they're trying to fight for this vision in the river.
Yes, both teams are looking for a fight here mid. We've got ROX with the top bush priority, but Longling is pushing in on the backline. He's looking for Doe. Can he find out where the damage dealers are? Oh, he gets spotted by Salim. He took a little bit too long, and now Zero's able to go in on Salim. They're getting massive damage. He's forced to bunk bounce out of there and save that tower.
Glow is waiting an ultimate onto 4-person, but it's not working because the whole teams are retreating.
Yeah, and Glow, he just doesn't have the damage yet, right? All the farm went to the Gongsong League. Glow still needs a little bit more time to come online. He needs to get into more of that 14, 15-minute mark, but Faye gets caught, and he does go down. The passive will get procced, meaning he won't have that for the next team fight. Hasmi was looking for the counter engage, but it's just too little too late at this point in the game.
And ROX Phoenix is trying to do so many things at the same time, which makes them a little bit confused at this time. They want to get pressure on the side lane. They want to take vision on the river. They want to manage. They want to control this overlord. There's so many things that they want to do at the same time. I really think that they have to think carefully what suits them most.
Oh, watch this Zero here. He definitely is looking for the steal. RNG with the split push gets the turret. The overlord has been taken by ROX, and they are able to put down the Prince of Longling. ROX is looking for more. Can they grab another kill on Yuyu? They've got massive damage here. Yuyu's got so much CC, but he can't put in the damage on Faye. Yuyu will not go down. This Chen Yaojin is unkillable.
Chen Yaojin has his ultimate, has a killing ability, so that he is always very low, but it's just deceiving the fact he cannot be killed because ROX Phoenix, they do not have any, like the Divine Punisher, they do not have a Nightmare Fan, no one to stop this Chen Yaojin from healing
Yuyu
back.
goes back in, the Bajie pushes around, and Liang Chen is able to find a pick on Faye.
But very smart move by RNG.M because they're trying, they led Lanliwang to try to take this overlord, and at the same time they managed to rush out the Dark Tyrant. So RNG.M, the front line, the 5v5 team fights, they can upset that. I have enough damage. I'm not any gold behind you. I'm even like 1,000 gold lead ahead of ROX Phoenix. Right now is the stage, is a period where RNG.M can try to initiate, can try to engage in the team fights with ROX Phoenix. As we're seeing the position of RNG.M, they're crawling back again into your territory.
Yeah, and this is the perfect timing for the attempt to take this engage. It's right before 15 minutes. We see Salem go down, and now ROX is fighting a 5v4. They do have the Overlord pressure, but I don't know if it's going to be enough to fend off this fight. They've got lots of damage is going to be coming in by that Chunga and the RNG.
That's clearly not enough because RNG.M do have Prince of Lanling who can take care of the waves. They have Chen Yaojin who can carry the wave on the other side of the map. So RNG.M, what it really needs is this Dark Tyrant. They're undefeatable in the team fights.
We have Wave pushing in on the top lane, and that tower is going to go down. This is looking really good for RNG.M. They've got waves crashing on both top and bottom. ROX is just looking to clear at this point. We really need to see Glow get where he can and clear all the waves he can because he's got the best wave clear on the team.
You know, I'm not looking, or I'm not seeing a lot of moves, a lot of rotations by Glow.
Yeah.
I mean, Glow is doing damage, of course, but not very burst damage, not a lot of performances in this game. I would personally expect to see more of Glow's rotations, more of Glow's focus onto RNG or Chen Yaojin.
You know, I think this was a smart move by RNG.M to take everything that they could from that and then sort of set up for vision pressure again, right? Like, let Longling get his ultimate back, set up for the vision, and look for the next engage. Now that they have waves managed, they have waves crashing, they're looking for a fight. Faye is taking some chip damage from the Tai, but we have Longling on the back lane. He isn't able to grab anything yet. Yuyu taking so much damage that Chen Yaojin is putting in so much work in his team. The boat lands on Tai. Tai's knocked up, beaten up, and thrown down, but he will come back for the revive, instantly thrown back down again. Faye is down. Yuyu is down. It is a 4v4. Who will go down? No more.
It's a 1-2 in favor of ROX Phoenix. ROX Phoenix managed to take this victory, take the team fights with the initiation, with the coming up, with the knockup by Sun Tze's ultimate. This is a very smart move from ROX Phoenix. They're not in a rush. They're not worried. You can see the Prince of Lanling. He managed to take Gong Sun Li, but Gong Sun Li is so
Too mobile. She's able to get out of there. Beautiful. We're about to see that beautiful chain CC happen.
Chain CC coming in.
Right here, they talked about the boat comes in. The Soulier knockup comes in. Absolutely devastating. He goes down, and even though he comes back to life, it's going to be another knockup and a dash right to his death.
There's a lot of chain CC combos in ROX Phoenix composition. You see there's a Bajie, there's a Sun Tze, there's a Su Lie. If they can get their control abilities together on the same target, I mean, that person, that individual cannot be moving at any minute.
Yeah, they will be going nowhere, as they'll be stunned for at least 5 seconds. We've got RNG.M taking the Dark Tyrant right now. This is perfect, exactly what they need. Grab that damage buff. That's going to allow you to get on and dive these towers, right? Because they have Prince of Longling, it's going to be hard for them to push the high grounds without a full-on dive. We need to see the RNG go in and do the tower damage for them. They don't really have much else in terms of it that can really put in that damage, right? So grab that Dark Tyrant really good, get this wave management going in, and look for a fight.
And as we're seeing from the dashboard, Chen Chang'e has already got a Ardent Dominator, which will make her a little bit more safer when it comes to the combo chains.
Yeah, now we're finally seeing the Sage Sanctuaries that we talked about earlier come out. They were just able to pick those up, so Faye was able to grab that, or Hasame was able to grab that, and now you gotta watch out for him because he will come back in this team fight. It could be a perfect counter engage. It's gonna be a great fight for both players. Yu has his ult, he pops it, he goes in, he's trying to separate the back line from the front line. It's not doing too much though as Salem's able to split. Both teams are split. Yu takes a lot of damage. Neither team can really find the fight. Chuenchuk finally finds it on the Bajie. He goes down. Hasame goes down, but he has 6-6 He comes back up. He's looking for the revive. He has his passive to come back up, but it's still not enough. And RNG will put him down as well. This is a 5v3, which is exactly what you want to end the game for RNG.M. They've got wave crashing top. They're looking for the push. The ult by Glow comes out a little bit too early. That means the wave's not going to go down. They've got another wave crashing mid. They've got lots of pressure here. RNG.M wants to end this game, but they're just doing it nice and slow, nice at their pace. They're letting the waves crash in. They're waiting for ROX to make a mistake. They're waiting for ROX to make an engage. Lanling is invisible. He is on the right side, but he's not going to be able to get to Glow.
They're trying to clean the waves.
Wow, ROX is able to clear a lot of them, but it's not enough. They've got a second wave crashing. Glow's still alive, but Glow is down. And RNG.M will take the first match of the Honor of Kings 2019 World Champion Cup.
3-2-0 for the side of RNG.M. RNG.M managed to play this game cautiously, even though they started off this game in a very bad situation. They actually lost 4 kills in the early game, but they managed to crawl back those gold deficit and managed to earn that gold lead in the late game. So the last team fights you've been talking about for like non-stop, 2 minutes long. And
super long
fight.
fight.
The frontliners of ROX Phoenix, they actually got their target, got their combos, got their chains onto RNG. But RNG has a second ability. RNG has the protection of Tai Yizhenren, so he cannot be easily killed. And all the frontliner, I would say ROX Phoenix is a little bit overcommitted. So they're a little bit separated from their backliners. The damage cannot be done onto RNG. So this RNG is undefeatable. This RNG can constantly auto-attacking, creating a lot of pressure, a lot of damage towards ROX Phoenix frontliner and backliner as well. Very smart and very beautiful play by RNG.M. You really represent the highest, one of the highest power, one of the most dominant teams in KPL.
You know, what a fight.
What a fight. What a fight.
Like, ROX Phoenix, they may have grabbed the first blood, but RNG.M grabbed the first Tyrant, the first Overlord, and ultimately the first match victory of the KCC.
Exactly.
Congrats, RNG.M.
So just the last game, it really proved me a lot. It gave me a lot of thoughts, you know. When you're facing the enemies who are so strong, it's really hard to snowball because they know what exactly you're gonna do. They can forecast where you're gonna go. So they can just protect and stand in front of you before you even get there. So it's really difficult. It's really difficult for ROX Phoenix to be competing with such an strong and dominant opponent.
And I think the scoreboard just shows that, right? Just speaks for itself. Seeing, you know, Storm out here with the 205, Chang Chun with the 602, like, it just shows not only how much damage they did, but how good they were at positioning, right? Because they never go down. It doesn't matter that you have the Bajie. It doesn't matter that you have the Gung Sung Lee, right? You're just not able to get onto the people you need to kill to stop your team from losing the team fights.
I have to say, please pay attention to Chen Chun's gold. Nearly 14,000, nearly 15,000 gold.
Yes.
And Gong Sun Li only got like 11,500. This is how efficient Chen Chun is in, when it comes to earning gold. Of course, he have a help with the Tai Yi Zhenren, but this is the top one jungler we're talking about. This is the top one gold earner.
Gold farmer, yeah.
Oh, gold farmer in the whole KPL division.
And I think it's good to note that not only that, like you said, he's known for being their jungler, but in this game he played the side lane. He played the ADC. Chen Chang is a person who he doesn't stick to one role. He plays the carry that his team needs.
Yeah.
If his team needs the carry to be the jungle, he'll play the jungle. If his team needs the carry to be the ADC, he'll play the ADC. This man does not care.
Yeah, look at this gold lead strips. I mean, the red side, ROX Phoenix do have a lot of leads in the early game, but in the mid game, they're just the same problem pops again. They're hesitating. And RNG.M just managed the whole map so well. The waves, the neutral objects, the jungles to protect them so well. Oh, the MVP finally goes to Chen Chun.
Chen Chun, you know, well deserved. Almost 40% damage, no deaths. Even took 10% of the team's damage as a squishy without dying. So honestly, this man deserved it. Being able to play jungle, being able to play side lane, this guy does it all, and he does it all unparalleled.
Yeah, and he's trying everything to make sure that his gold will not be taken away from Gong Sun Li. He's constantly chasing back this gold deficit so he can have enough item, enough damage when it comes to team fights. So Chen Chun, well worth of this MVP. Most valuable player.
Most valuable player. You know, I will say in that last game, I think ROX did a lot better. Like, especially from the other two games, they were able to sort of flip the script and seem like they were fighting, they were taking the fights early game. I mean, we see this right here, right? Zero makes a little bit of misstep, goes in and activates the ult too early, and ROX, they don't back off this time. They punish him for it. They put him down, they get the kill. Ultimately, that led to them grabbing the first Tyrant, right? Like, things like that, ROX did so good.
ROX has a very beautiful, a very strong starting at this game, but they're just losing their directions again during the mid game. So hopefully they'll get this solved in the later battles with another teams. We will be casting another game of ROX Phoenix later than in these 2 weeks, and hopefully they can improve.
Yeah, hopefully they take what they've learned today, and that makes them a much better team when they go face other KPL teams, and they'll be able to learn, you know, use the stuff they learned here. And hopefully this was kind of a confidence boost in the sense of how well they were able to do against such a formidable opponent, right?
Yeah, I really think from today's match, I see a lot of improvement by ROX Phoenix, because we've seen ROX Phoenix since 2018, that's last year.
Yes.
And a lot of improvements made. The hero pools are extended, well, obviously, because they're dealing with all-round BP. They have to be familiar. They have to be professional at a lot of heroes. And the BP is okay, but just, you know, they just lack some courage and some decisive decision maker. The key decision maker. They have to pick one of the members to do that.
Yeah, ROX, what they definitely need is the more decisiveness, and I think that they started to get it in the last game. They started to make more decisive plays, so whatever they started doing there in the beginning of Game 3 that was working, they should really just hold on to that, build on that, and then use that when they're playing against other teams, because they know that they're going to be able to do much better against them.
Okay, very nice play by RNG.M. They once again prove themselves to be one of the most strongest KPL teams ever. So RNG.M managed to take this victory, and now we're seeing today's matches.
Yes.
The first battle is already finished. RNG.M won a battle with a 3-1 and 3-0, and the next one is GOG versus VSG at 6 o'clock at night. GOG and VSG, both KPL teams. and one American team who you'll be very familiar with. There's a friend there, right?
MTS.
Yeah, MTS. So
yeah. At 6 o'clock, we will have the GOG versus VSG matchup. Like you said, that is two KPL teams. So we're probably going to see quite possibly all the way to a best of 5. Like these two teams battle out. Both of them
more
are
intense
extremely
plays. Yeah.
interesting teams as well. Like you said, MTS, we have GOG is the sort of NA representative, right? They've got, whereas VSG, they actually started in a different game and were able to come to this game and just do so well, get to the World Cup in their first ever appearance. Like, that's amazing. And so we'll see you then on the KCC group stage match at 6 p.m.
See you then.